two coaches, Dick Motta of Washington on the left and Lenny Wilkins of Seattle on the right, are architects of one of the most amazing climaxes in the history of professional basketball. They have brought the Bullets and the Supersonics all the way to the championship series.
The NBA on CBS. Today's championship game is sponsored by Light Beer, everything you always wanted in a beer and less. Avis, the We Try Harder car rental company. And by all the new 1978 Chevrolets, now at your Chevy dealers everywhere.
From the Seattle Center Coliseum in Seattle, Washington, CBS Sports brings you the NBA World Championship Series. It's the Washington Bullets against the Seattle Supersonics. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Brent Musburger, and never in my wildest dreams did I think I would stand before you on this Sunday and say for the championship, we've got Washington and Seattle. Two amazing turnarounds by these ball clubs, Dick Motta and Lenny Wilkins, and I'll promise you one thing. You are about to see some of the toughest basketball you have ever viewed on television, particularly underneath. Wes Unseld, Elvin Hayes, Marvin Webster, Paul Silas. Now, the two who are working with me are Rick Barry and Steve Jones. Rick?
Thank you very much, Brent. Steve, both clubs playing excellent ball to get into the finals. What about the Bullets?
Well, no question about it. Elvin Hayes is the acknowledged leader of this team, but the man that makes them go is Bobby Dandridge. And if he plays well, Washington Bullets will win.
As far as the Sonics are concerned, a lot of diversification in their offense. They have 6 players capable of scoring 20 points or more, but the man I feel who may be the difference in this series is the old veteran, Paul Silas, coming off the bench. Now back to Brent and the starting lineups.
Thank you, Rick. The starting lineups. At center court, Dandridge, Hayes, Unseld, Henderson, and Greavy will open for Motta. John Johnson, Sikma, Webster, Williams, and Dennis Johnson will open for the Sonics. A couple of points to keep in mind. Generally, in a championship series, the home team gets 2 games at home. Not so here. Seattle must go into Washington Thursday night. This game is critical for Seattle wearing the white uniforms. The series goes 1-2-2. Also, keep in mind the Sonics have not lost at home in 20 games. Washington, the last team to beat them. Greavy has got the Bullets on the board. Jack Sikma, the only rookie starting, puts up Seattle's first shot, and Unseld with his first rebound in this championship series. And oh, how Wes wants it. He is 0-8 in championship play. Greavy, 35, transformed from a forward to a guard. The Big E, Elvin Hayes, and the Bullets are 2 of 2 at the start of game 1.
Washington's defense, their offense has been much better than they anticipated early in the basketball game. Seattle will have to play better.
Johnson goes into Marvin Webster, who turns around on Unseld, and it's 4-2 Washington.
You got a good indication there, I think, of what Wesley Unseld plans on doing to Marvin Webster. He was really manhandling him there. Just watch the play here and see just what happened. See right there, Marvin Webster giving a little bit back to Wes Unseld.
Bobby Dandridge, who played so well against Julius Erving, goes left side now to Tommy Henderson. Gus Williams is on him. Here's E, his second shot. Seattle will control it. 2 strong rebounding teams. Dennis Johnson, 24, and here's John Johnson, 27. Webster is 40, and the whistle is blown against Wes Unseld. Darrell Garrettson working with Ed Rush.
Well, the officials are right on these plays, and in most playoff competition, they're not going to let any fouls be called early. Unseld has his hands all over them, as Sikma did down at the other end, and we got a quick whistle.
John Johnson is short and gets a second chance. Sikma tapped it to Webster. Knocked away by Greavy. Dennis Johnson controls. How the referees work this game early may determine the outcome. These are 2 tough physical teams inside. Sikma runs the wheel around. Hayes is picked off. Unseld on the switch.
That time, Wes Unseld ran right underneath Jack Sikma. Could have easily been called for a foul.
Greavy gets the lead ball, and underneath to Elvin, who is now 2 of 3, and it's 6-2 Bullets.
Very important for Elvin Hayes to get off to a good start in the basketball game. Normally, when he plays well, the Bullets get off to a flying start, and he's going early.
Greavy pressuring Dennis Johnson, and too much, says Rush. And, of course, neither team in the penalty, so the ball taken out of bounds on the side.
Watch the pressure here. Now watch Greavy with the hands. Right there, he's got his hands on it, gives Dennis a little bit of a shove. The officials are not going to allow that to continue in this ball game. Calling it very close.
Webster is out high away from the basket. Now he puts it on the floor against Unseld. Jump shot is off, and Hayes was backing Sigma out for that rebound. Good muscle by E. Williams taking Henderson. Hayes comes around, and there's Sigma. Williams dove in for the steal, leaving Henderson alone inside, and here's Unseld.
Bullets have had excellent ball movement. Seattle's defense, and Eddie Wilkins is going to call a timeout to make sure that they tighten it up.
They gambled a bit that time, and they gave up a field goal as a result. So as Steve Jones told you, Lenny Wilkins wants to regroup that defense.
See what's new today. When you're driving down the road and you're moving through a curve and your car's looking good, it's showing lots of time.
The new Monza by Chevrolet. For a car so sporty and so well equipped, it's priced surprisingly low.
Yeah, Buck.
I just went to another bar and asked for light beer for Miller.
Yeah?
They said, sorry, Buck, we don't have it.
They didn't have it?
No. I don't want some beer that's going to fill me up.
No.
I want light. Tastes great.
Right.
Has a third less calories than a regular beer.
Yeah.
And, man, it's less filling. You think I'm going to the other bar again? No way. From now on, the buck stops here.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
At UCLA, my team's won 10 NCAA championships. I guess that's why I was asked to help design the Wilson John Wooden basketball shoe. It's made with polyurethane, so it's the lightest shoe in the game. Light, to help you start quick and play long without tiring. It helps you jump high, and this angled cushion heel helps you land easy. If you were playing for me, this is the shoe you'd be wearing.
The Wilson John Wooden basketball shoe, designed light to win.
3 years ago, it was the Golden State Warriors and the Washington Bullets for the championship. Rick Barry leading the Warriors. Phil Chenier in civilian clothes, a starting guard for the Bullets. The Warriors blew them out in 4 straight games, and the scheduling was identical to this series. 1 game at home for Washington, then to the Cow Palace for 2, and the Warriors were quickly up by 3. Sigma comes up on Elvin Hayes. John Johnson had it knocked away. Henderson working on him on the baseline. 8-2 Bullets lead the Sonics, 9:16 to go in the first.
If you ask me, it looks like Jack Sigma is a little tentative about what he's doing out there. It's pretty good competition out here, championship series for a rookie.
He picked that time, and Williams stayed right with the shot.
Gus Williams has been a player that's gotten off the mark early for them against Denver. He had 9 and 7 points early in the early going of the basketball game, and that got Seattle going at home.
Unseld gets it from Danbridge and puts it in on the toss.
Marvin Webster intimidated that time.
Henderson signaling the defense and then goes to Williams, the ball man. Gus shot well against Denver in the last 2 games, up with that jump shot high on the glass, and Webster is there for an offensive rebound.
Seattle continuing to do well on the offensive board, something they did exceptionally well against Denver.
And Seattle was back that time well on defense. The Bullets, Danbridge breaking on the wing as he likes to do, could not get an easy one. Greavy now inside of Dennis Johnson up high and taken down by Webster, working off the glass on both ends. Lead now to Williams. Danbridge is there. Henderson coming in behind. Gus with that body control, and John Johnson 2 offensive rebounds in a row, but they only convert 1. And now quickly it's Henderson at the other end. Off to Greavy. Webster comes out on him, and Greavy hits it.
Those are the types of shots that Kevin Greavy is going to have to get off against Dennis Johnson to get down and get quickly, because Johnson did an excellent job against David Thompson.
10-6, Bullets lead, 8 minutes to go, first quarter. You'll see Kevin Greavy at halftime. A horse, Dennis Johnson goes back door and missed the layup. Greavy is there to clean it up, and he stepped out of bounds, and he'll go back to the Sonics.
That was just a super play that time by Dennis Johnson. He made the most difficult play with getting open. Then he had the easy layup and was looking for the defenders, and it threw his timing off.
a second chance for the Sonics, who had a golden opportunity that time. They appear to be a little tight here in the early going. The Bullets have not played in 8 days. On the steal, it's Henderson. And Williams in the backcourt is on him. They'll come to the free throw line as a result of a backcourt foul. 2 team fouls against both teams, but that one in the backcourt will come to the line.
There's really no excuse for that, Brent. That was just a breakdown as far as the team running their offensive play. You see Henderson come up with the steal there. Gus was out of position. He was forced to try to come to the ball. Somebody should have set a screen on someone else. You should not be able to get the ball in bounds on a baseline situation.
5-point Washington lead as the result of that free throw. Henderson, drafted originally by Atlanta. Consistent season, isn't it? Hits both free throws. Pressure in the backcourt, but it appears to be a token, although Greavy and Henderson are picking up the ball as they come across the line. Williams directing Lenny Wilkins' attack. Now Sigma. Elvin Hayes slapping away at the ball. Dandridge is on John Johnson. Defense by the Bullets is tight. Webster backing in. Unseld tried to draw the offense. Couldn't, and Webster puts it away.
Anytime Marvin Webster can get the ball down in that deep, Wes Unseld's going to be in big trouble because he can't jump. Webster's already 7'1", and he's only 6'8".
Webster trying hard to seal Unseld away from the offensive board. Dandridge is there with John Johnson. Goes to the glass, up high over Webster's arm. Sonics come back. They can pull to within 2, trail by 4. Johnson is short, has it knocked away, and here's Kevin Greavy in the middle. Comes around Sigma. Top of the circle, now it's Henderson who glides inside, and Sigma came back on the ball. John Johnson's off to Gus Williams. Lead pass now to Dennis Johnson. Bullets right back, not giving the Sonics time. Here's Elvin Hayes. In and out. Webster controls, and you can just see the intensity underneath the glass. Sonics can tie it. Williams was sealed up by Hayes. Here's Henderson in a foot race, but John Johnson stays with him. Into the left hand goes Henderson. A great effort by Tom Henderson. Drew the foul and hit the layup.
That's just great individual effort. There you saw him on the spin move. He goes through the basket. John Johnson started to fall before the contact was there, and because he was moving, once the contact was made, he picked up the foul. If he had held his ground, he very possibly could have picked up the offensive foul in that situation. But that's great individual effort on the part of Tom Henderson.
Bob Dandridge has not scored so far for Washington.
One thing, been watching what Washington's been doing on defense, Brent and Steve, is that the situation where Elvin Hayes guarding Jack Sigma, when the ball is on the strong side and Sigma goes away from it, Elvin just zones up in the middle. If they could swing the ball quickly to Sigma, he would get wide open shots. Elvin is not going out to play him at all away from the ball.
The Bullets, when they operated out of Baltimore, lost 4 straight in 71 to Milwaukee and the then Lou Alcindor. Then in 75, 4 in a row to the Warriors. They have turned it over at the Seattle end, so it'll now go to those Bullets.
Seattle has its toughest times when they really have to come down and set up. They're not a good perimeter shooting team, but they will put the ball up a lot, crash the boards, and this is what Washington wants to do, make them run their offense, not get into a wide-open game.
Bullets are up by 5, and then now make it 7 as Unseld gets open.
Simple screen down play. That time Marvin Webster went to jump out on the guard who was getting screened down by Wes Unseld. Unseld slipped inside.
5:40 to go, first quarter. Unseld goes back on Webster. Hayes fronting him, backed into Marvin, and they really worked Webster over that time, and Hayes didn't like the foul call. Technical on Elvin Hayes, a technical foul, and Mata is furious. It's on Hayes, and Mata was all over Ed Rush.
I have to say one thing on that last play. Wes Unseld was all over. Watch Wes Unseld on him. Watch Wes Unseld when he does to Marvin Webster. Now watch Hayes come back into the picture here. Here's Hayes playing, and look at Unseld, what Unseld's doing. He's just pushing and shoving. Actually, if a foul was called, Elvin had a right to be upset.
Williams makes the free throw. It is 17-11. Gus Williams hit the technical free throw.
And Elvin really had a right to be upset. He didn't commit the foul. Wes Unseld was just absolutely manhandling Marvin
They've got to
Webster.
restrain Mata. Bernie Bickerstaff with an arm yanks him away. He wanted to go back after Ed Rush a second time.
You can see how physical this game is going to be and what Wes Unseld is doing out there. It's just incredible.
Unseld has it in his mind to make sure that Marvin Webster is not going to go 40-plus minutes tonight. He's bumped him just like he'd bump a tank. He's been on him from the opening minute.
5 minutes and 34 seconds to go in quarter one of the championship series. Game 2 Thursday night, 9 p.m. from Landover, Maryland, home of the Bullets. Williams lost control. Dandridge was bumping on him, and Gus could not keep it.
Let's watch this play here. Watch Wes Unseld. Now watch what he does right here to Marvin Webster. Look at what he does with the body. He's just doing a number on him.
Williams pressuring Henderson in the basketball. Elvin Hayes and Sigma using his body against him, and Hayes hits his third field goal here in the first quarter, 19-11. It's an 8-point Bullet lead. And they do not appear to be that rusty after that long layoff, having eliminated Philadelphia before Seattle could dispose of Denver. They've had a couple of tough practice sessions this week under Mata. Webster bumps Unseld off and missed the turnaround, but Sigma at the offensive board.
Elvin Hayes did not block out. Elvin's a great jumper, and many jumpers like that do not box off. They use their jumping ability, and that time it hurt him.
Mata extremely animated in front of the Washington bench, almost at midcourt.
It appears that every time down they are trying to get the ball in deep to Elvin Hayes to work on the rookie Sigma, who has been known to get in foul trouble, and if they can get him on the bench, that really is going to hurt the Supersonics.
There are 3 team fouls before that whistle was blown against Jack Sigma, the rookie.
That's the second foul on Jack Sigma, and both times trying to prevent Elvin Hayes from getting the ball, and they are calling it. Paul Silas is up off the bench, and we're going to see him right now.
Lenny Wilkins, before the game, was telling us, Brent, that Paul has done some very good defensive jobs against Elvin. Let's see what happens.
Well, he had to move in a hurry just coming across the sideline. They didn't give Silas any time to set up defensively, and Hayes has hit it again. 8 points. Freddie Brown talking to his coach, Lenny Wilkins. Webster far away from the basket. And that's where Washington would love to keep him. Dennis Johnson with Greavy flying out. And here's Dandridge with control for the Bullets, and 4:05 to go first quarter. Kevin Greavy's left-handed shot from the left corner is good, and it is 23-13. That is a 10-point Washington lead, and Wilkins will go for some instant offense. Again, this game is critical for the Supersonics, who must go to Landover for games 2 and 3. Johnson underneath. Hayes is there. Foul call by the outside man. And here's that instant offense. Downtown, Freddie Brown.
Here's the play again. You see Wes Unseld battling Webster, and you see Hayes drop in the middle of the zone up as soon as the ball goes the other way. Caught Dennis Johnson on the left part of the arm, picking up the foul, but Elvin is going to zone up the entire ball game, trying to help defensively.
He has no problem now with Silas in a basketball game. If he's guarding him, he can just drop back and help out on everybody that's coming around. Hayes is a good leaper. He'll see that basket off.
4 points for Dennis Johnson here in the first quarter. Freddie Brown will take Henderson, and Dennis Johnson stays with Greavy. And John Johnson is doing a good job against Dandridge so far, and the Bullets are not getting in the ball much. Turnaround, it's Elvin Hayes is short. They're going to have to involve Dandridge. They cannot stick with one man, even though they're up now, 23-15. Brown rubs off his man and goes to the jumper.
Little simple screen. Defensive man should have jumped out and picked Freddie Brown up. You don't let Fred Brown come off the screen.
Dandridge has the ball now, and John Johnson is right with him. Johnson played well against the Nuggets. Inside to Unseld. Up for the layup.
Amazing thing, though, is Wes Unseld has gotten 3 layups inside. Normally, Webster blocks all of those shots, and he was very effective against Denver. He has not gotten anything against Unseld.
Wright will check in for Dick Mata.
Watch this play right here. Now watch Paul Silas, what he does to Elvin Hayes. This gives him a quick little shove like he's blocking for the quarterback. The official's right on top of it. We are going to have some physical confrontation here this afternoon, so stay with us.
Sir, what's the hurry? Going to rent a car. Oh, well, you don't have to run. Gotta run. Oh, no, if you had an Avis Wizard number, you could walk. Walk? Call toll-free and let our Wizard system do the running. Just show a major credit card, license, sign, and get the car. I don't have to run through airports? Not with Avis. I can walk through airports.
We try harder, Avis. Avis, we don't know another way.
I'm walking through airports.
Today, Kendall Oil's Car on the Street interview visits the home of...
A brand new Chevy. You are a beauty. And I'm gonna stay that way.
How?
Good maintenance and Kendall oil.
Why Kendall?
Simple. Every drop of Kendall is specially engineered for exceptional performance and protection, so Kendall helps keep cars out of trouble.
Hey, where are you going?
I'm late for a wedding!
Kendall means confidence.
Ask any car.
DuPont presents the car wax with a watertight guarantee. Rain Dance. It's guaranteed to shine longer, to bead water longer, guaranteed to last longer than the leading car waxes. Or DuPont gives you your money back. Repeat. Rain Dance is guaranteed to shine longer, to bead water longer, to last longer. The Rain Dance guarantee is watertight.
Can Affirmed win the Triple Crown? You'll find out on CBS on the afternoon of June 10th. Jimmy the Greek will be along at halftime. We'll get his odds. What a magnificent horse he was yesterday in the Preakness as Alydar again came up just a bit short. Could it be Secretariat and Sham all over again? We'll find out on the afternoon of June 10th. Here we are, Game 1 of the NBA World Championship Series in Seattle. The Bullets in their dark road uniforms are ahead 25-17. Larry Wright, whom I had told you was getting ready to come in, is now working in the backcourt with Kevin Greavy. Freddie Brown will take him. And John Johnson is just shadowing Dandridge's every move, and it is Elvin Hayes who's taken over that offense. It's 25-17. The Sonics were down by 10, remember, 23-13. Trying to make a run. Brown with a height advantage on Wright. Wants to back him in. Now Webster goes to the glass, and Brown hits it. 2 in a row. And there is Mitch Kupchak sitting alongside Phil Chenier. He'll be checking in soon for Dick Motta. 2:15 to go. Brown on the steal. Wright circles back. It's 1 against 1. Brown missing, and Unseld seal off Silas, and now it's Elvin Hayes 2-on-2, and Greavy gives it up. It'll go to the Sonics.
You see how Wes Unseld got that ball out? He is probably one of the greatest outlet passes off the rebound anybody I've seen. Without any effort at all, he flicks that thing to half court.
Johnson coming up, and Kevin Greavy awaits him. We're inside of 2 minutes, as you can see in the upper right-hand corner. Greavy checks for the pick, and here's Marvin Webster. Unseld. John Johnson comes around and goes to the left baseline and drilled one.
Fred Brown coming in a ball game and getting a couple quick hoops seems to have been a catalyst and really got the Sonics going, and they're back in the game, and their defense is picked up because of it.
Pulled to within 4 points. Unseld was out high to pick. Brown trails right inside, and credit the big man, Wes Unseld. Rick told you about the outlet passes. He can also set some of the meanest picks in the NBA.
Only takes 3 steps to get around them.
Away from the ball. Larry Wright down low with 1:14 to go in the first quarter. And now the Bullets are up over that limit. So I wonder if Wright can handle Brown, and Dick Motta and Bernie Bickerstaff are conferring on the side. They must be wondering about the same thing right now.
The best way to play Fred Brown is to try and deny him the basketball and make him work real hard before he gets it. Once he gets it, he's virtually unstoppable. He's a better jumper and very, very tricky. He's got a lot of tricks.
Hits the free throws. So a pair of field goals and 2 free throws, and it's a 4-point game again with the Bullets leading, and we're coming down to the 1-minute mark in the first quarter. Unseld gave it right back to Wright. Webster was out to intimidate the shot. Dennis Johnson ball on the floor. Had trouble controlling. Now he's got it, but the Bullets are back on defense, and here's Brown. He feels it. Now it's Elvin Hayes, and again, let me point out that Bobby Dandridge has not seen that much action on offense. Wright with his quickness to the basket. Great move by Larry Wright that time. Seized the opening and went to it.
Penetration has really hurt the Sonics so far in their defense. Wright and Henderson, when he was in the ball game, have been able to get inside that seam and create a lot of havoc.
Inside to Dennis Johnson, who goes down the middle, and Paul Silas.
See how smart he is that time. Hayes went to help out, and Paul just followed him right to the hoop, picked up the offensive board and basket.
Bobby Dandridge couldn't get to the baseline and turn the corner. John Johnson was there. Last 15 seconds, 4-point Washington lead. They have played well after that long layoff. Here's Dandridge. Unseld battling. He's got it again underneath. And there's the strength of Wes Unseld.
He didn't jump.
Can jump, 280 pounds.
The end of the first quarter as we open the NBA World Championship Series between Lenny Wilkens, Seattle Supersonics, and the Washington Bullets of Dick Motta.
Every time we run a test, there's bound to be a little bit of tension. Have I done this? Did I remember to do that?
Ken Heyman, safety engineer. This is who we are and what we do at General Motors.
The small cars are subjected to the same barrier tests as the larger cars. And using that technique, we've been able to test the safety of smaller cars, structurally, with regard to the occupants. Now, we think we have the finest facility in the world. We don't think anybody can conduct the kind of tests we're conducting with the amount of data that we can gather. GM has a real serious interest in safety, and knowing that's part of your job, it makes me feel good. At high speed, we sacrifice portions of the car in order to save the occupants. The crushing in of the front is allowing us to dissipate the energy of the crash. The passenger compartment remains essentially intact.
General Motors, people building transportation to serve people.
Get that rhythm. Get that rhythm. Get ready. Shoot the ball. That's my man.
Okay, Dave, you get that rhythm down, Dave. Get that rhythm down. Get ready to shoot that ball.
Elvin Hayes and the NBA are volunteers for Special Olympics.
That's my man.
You can help a special athlete, too. Write Special Olympics, Washington, D.C.
Slick Watts, who was the mayor of Seattle until Lenny Wilkens became the coach here, and Slick was traded down to New Orleans, still makes his home here. He's very popular with the fans, and nice that he hasn't lost all of that loyalty to the Supersonics. He's here whenever he can be. We start the second quarter. Let's see if there are any substitutions. There are indeed. Mitch Kupchak has replaced Elvin Hayes. Wes Unseld, who played spectacularly well underneath for Dick Motta, stays in there with Dandridge. Johnson, Brown, Webster, Silas, and Wally Walker. Silas waits for Dennis Johnson. Johnson coming in on right. Fouled away, no basket. There's the shooting, and you can see that the Bullets were burning the hoop.
And the Sonics have to feel very good, Brain, about only trailing by 6 points with that poor shooting percentage compared to 61 for the Bullets.
The Bullets had different types of opportunities. Their shots came from in close, and the Sonics had to put the ball a lot up from the perimeter, and that really hurt them.
There they force Webster outside on the left-handed hook, but it is Silas battling for the ball, and Dandridge with control out now for Washington. Here's Greavy. Sonics are back on defense. Greavy's left alone momentarily when Brown jumped out at him, and it's 33-25, an 8-point Washington lead with the series going back to Landover Thursday night, a 9 p.m. Eastern time start. We'll televise it live on CBS. That'll be 6 o'clock out here on the Pacific Network. Silas went to Wally Walker. Walker inside with the field goal.
Wally Walker is not known for his defense, and he's going to be on Bobby Dandridge. He's a pretty good offensive player, and they'll need him to score.
Greavy hits it again, 2 in a row now at 10:52 left here in the first half. 35-27. Kupchak jumps out on Freddie Brown, who comes up from the left corner downtown. Motta signaling the play in front of the Washington bench.
Real shootout by Freddie Brown and Greavy from the outside. Both of them really have the range here this afternoon.
Kupchak got Webster to make his first move and drew the foul. Jack Sikma and Greg Ballard will come in. Sikma returning. Ballard with his first appearance in a World Championship game. There are 4 players with World Championship experience. Paul Silas on the floor, of course. Won a pair of titles with the Boston Celtics. Wally Walker, the only man who can put championships together, as he played for Jack Ramsey and the Portland Trail Blazers last year. Over on the Washington side, Bobby Dandridge was on the Milwaukee championship team, and Charles Johnson, CJ, was a teammate of Rick Barry's at the Golden State Warriors. Interesting that Dandridge and Johnson won championships with teams that swept the Bullets in 4 straight. Johnson comes across now on Larry Wright. 10 minutes and 20 seconds to go, first half. Elvin Hayes will come back. Sickmer's left alone. And the Bullets are trying to apply instant offense, even after a Seattle field goal. Unseld getting back in to set up, and Johnson blocked that shot by Greavy. West retrieves, and here's Wally Walker. It's 37-31. Sonics trailing it by 6, and Brown. A little flat that time. Greg Ballard, the rookie, lead to right, tipped out of bounds by Dennis Johnson. It'll go to the Bullets.
This is just the type of ball game that the Bullets really don't want to get caught up in, because this is how Seattle will get back in the basketball game. You'll see the ball goes up. Larry Riley's way out in front, but he can't handle it. And the Sonics, they're struggling, but they're close in this basketball game.
Day and night, mile after mile, we put 40,000 miles on a set of Sears road handlers and went on to run the route of the Pony Express from Missouri to California. Road Handler, Sears' best steel-belted radio. It's the tire that ran 40,000 miles and then took on the rugged route of the Pony Express. Wide radial design, double steel belting. The Road Handler, from the home of the radials, Sears.
The Bell system recognizes that many seemingly unrelated business problems are really communications problems in disguise. So we've provided our account representatives with the skills and equipment they need to take a company's problems and our solutions to them and fit them together into a total communications system. For we firmly believe that in solving problems for companies like yours, the system is the solution.
Like your GM car?
Yeah.
Want to keep that great GM feeling?
We sure do.
Then shake hands with Mr. Goodwrench. He's dedicated to improved customer care at more than 6,000 participating GM dealers.
You want genuine GM parts. You want your car fixed right, on time. That's what I want too. Caring about your GM car helps keep me in business.
Keep that great GM feeling with genuine GM parts.
Will Jack Nicklaus mount a charge on his own golf course? You'll find out right after we complete the first game of the NBA World Championship Series. So the Memorial Golf Tournament is next on CBS. Here now we have some substitutions at the Washington end. Ballard, Kupchak, Wright, CJ, and Elvin Hayes. Charles Johnson, Hayes returns. Johnson on the floor for the first time. So Greavy is out, and here's the rookie Ballard. Hayes wanted to give it back to him. Turnaround on Paul Silas. And it is Elvin Hayes now with 10 points. And Wes Unseld, who has 8. So the Bullets have been strong inside. Silas and Brown play catch, and now it's Dennis Johnson being pushed on by Wright, and Charles Johnson's got the ball. Washington thought that CJ was fouled after the steal. Wright coming to the top of the circle. Dennis Johnson is there. Dennis Johnson with a magnificent series against David Thompson of Denver. The Sonics eliminated the Nuggets in 6 games to reach the championship. Kupchak. So the perimeter shot goes down for the big fella from North Carolina at 8:54. It's a 10-point Washington lead, and Wilkins will go back to the bench, and he wants Gus Williams back on the floor. Brown.
The way Freddie's shooting that ball, they ought to get it to him more often. He's really got the range. He's capable of pumping him in all night long when he's got hot.
He has scored 10 already.
Whenever they have won in the playoff series, Brown has gotten big numbers in any quarter, and they'll need him to have some big ones here just to keep it close.
Hayes is off the rim. Ballard and Silas were maneuvering for position, and Rush has got the pushing foul underneath. And watch Paul Silas.
Watch the battle on the hairs. Wally Walker is the man right there. Gives a little shove, as you see, to Ballard, but you see Silas battling to get on the boards. Foul on Walker.
Ballard up on Wally. Has got the field goal for the Bullets. 43-33, and 8:20 left in the first half. And the Bullets are playing with fire right now. They want to go home ahead by a game, because then they would have the upper hand. Brown shot spins out. Larry Wright. And the Bullets are applying instant offensive pressure. They turn it over this time, and now it's Williams. It's 3-on-1. Gus is off to Silas. Hayes was the man there, and Kupchak yanks it down, and there is a foul. Loose ball, and you can tell by the crowd who it's going against.
Watch the play here. Here's Gus, takes it up. Nice pass off to Silas. Silas goes up strong. Let's see if Hayes gets him. Got him pretty good with the body, it looked like. No foul call. Paul lost it. Over the back Kupchak, a reach-in foul by Freddie Brown.
Well, it looked like Elvin Hayes got his arms out of the way so he didn't have to get the foul that time. Webster comes back into basketball game.
They called the foul on Silas, though.
Kupchak and Webster gambling on the steal drew a rather unfortunate foul for Marvin Webster, his second.
Here we are in isolation. Watch Webster right there, trying to go for the steal, way out on the floor, picks up a very silly foul. They cannot afford to have Marvin Webster do things like that.
CJ up on Freddie Brown. They'll try to make Brown work at the defensive end if they can. It's a 12-point Washington lead, the biggest so far in game one of the championship series. Kupchak was fronting Webster. Now he goes back to Sikma. Sikma will put it up outside. And it is Marvin Webster with the offensive rebound. And whenever Marvin Webster controls that offensive rebounding end, the Sonics can keep it going. But overall, the Bullets have done a good job against the 7-foot center.
They're shooting a little bit too much from the outside. Try to get a little closer.
CJ goes to the other side, quickly hits 2 field goals, and again, Freddie Brown's the defensive man. So it's 12 and 7 minutes left in the first half.
Fred Brown is excellent at playing 2 for 1, and that's the type of game he'd like to get CJ in, putting the ball up from the perimeter, because he's a better scorer from out there.
Silas orchestrating a move to get the ball, and as the buzzer sounded over at the table because of the 3-second violation, we're also going to have a timeout. So Dick Motta, checking the scoreboard, saw those numbers, 47-35. He's also got 6 minutes and 50 seconds, and Lenny Wilkins will talk it over with the Sonics.
Outward bound, Rota, Spain. The Navy. See your local recruiter or call toll-free. It's not just a job, it's an adventure.
The new Chevy El Camino. Beautiful, isn't it? Also, it weighs less and is a more efficient size that's almost 12 inches shorter, yet has more head and leg room than last year. Incredibly, it's also a truck. It still has 800 pounds of cargo capacity, double-wall construction where it counts. And for 1978, standard V6 power V8 available. The new Chevy El Camino. Who'd have thought a pickup could look this good?
This is what's left of an antique picture from a home insured by Continental. Our policyholder thought he could figure out how much he lost right away. But Continental knows that troubled people forget items like this. We'd rather have our clients take the time to file a complete claim and not rush into a settlement that's too small. If you want fair protection like that, remember, nobody spells protection like the Continental Insurance Companies.
Our next 2 games will come to you from Landover, Maryland and the Capitol Center. 9 p.m. Eastern Time, Thursday night, Game 2. And Sam Schulman, the owner of the Seattle Supersonics, comes to his feet as the crowd here hopes to inspire a rally. Washington has dominated early, and with the series moving to Washington for the next 2, they could ill afford to lose Game 1. A rejection by Webster, his first block. Williams brings it back in. Bullets were back on defense. Gus waits for Sikma. They go inside to Silas. Hayes is there, finger roll. Ballard wins the battle of the muscle. Now it's Larry Wright with the ball to the right side for the Bullets. Pull up. Elvin Hayes and Ballard underneath, and the loose ball foul is called. It'll go against the Sonics. Silas unhappy.
That's penalty situation now for the Sonics. 3 personal fouls on Paul Silas. We'll see the play right here. Silas under the boards going up for it. Gets called for pushing or using the body. It didn't look like much of a foul to me.
Forearms. He uses those forearms like a linebacker does in football, and he's been wearing some heads out there. And of course, it's going to hurt them. Ballard gets cheap baskets, and it builds that lead. They've got to get him out and get someone in that's going to play a little bit more finesse right now.
And Seals Number 45, Bruce Seals, has reported in with Silas going to the bench.
Washington playing excellent basketball right now, Brent. And Seattle, they're struggling. They're not shooting well. Washington shooting exceptionally good. They have to try and keep it close. Things can probably turn around in the second half. You can't expect Washington to keep shooting that good.
49-35 right now with 6 minutes to go in the first half. And Dick Motta has been bringing folks in and out. He has been using his bench. Elvin Hayes, after a brief rest, is back on Marvin Webster. And Webster at the buzzer. Put down the field goal. 12-point lead. Gus Williams with Henderson. Kupchak. Here's Hayes and Sikma checking him at the Seattle defensive end. Elvin is off and Seals runs it down.
Seattle needs to get their front line involved in the offense a little bit more. They need to get some hoops up front to take some of the pressure off the guard.
Unseld will report back in for Motta. 20 straight victories at home. Washington, the last team to win in Seattle. Webster up again on Hayes. Kupchak outlet to Ballard now and back to CJ in the middle. 5 minutes, 5 seconds to go. First half in game 1. Washington working at the perimeter. Sikma was fronting Hayes. Kupchak will go to that jump shot. He's hit 2 from out there so far.
They've done an excellent job of bringing Marvin Webster out high so they can post. They can post Sikma up with Elvin Hayes.
Brown coming around, went to Seals.
Bruce Seals has not played a great deal, Brent, but he is very capable of scoring a lot of points in a ball game if he gets the hot hand.
Williams switches over to stick with Henderson. CJ outside and off the mark that time. Williams wants to lead pass to Brown. He's going to have to run. I don't think he can run it down. He's out. Overlet him on that pass. He was really not breaking. Gus Williams perhaps ill-advised to go to the whip that time, but he thought he could pick him up. 51-39 and 4 minutes and 20 seconds to go first half. Unseld is back.
They have got some big front line in there now.
Kupchak and Seals is there. Henderson going out of bounds as he tried to run the pass down. It'll go over to Seattle. 5 team fouls against the Sonics and only 1 against the Bullets.
There you see Kupchak trying to get rid of it. Henderson took his eye off but couldn't quite handle it.
Bobby Dandridge, who has yet to score for the Bullets, and they're this far ahead. You've got to be impressed with what Dick Motta has come up with so far. Seals is now 1 of 2, and again it is Webster battling, and Williams outside is off. Hayes will let it go. It'll go now to Washington.
Let's take a look at Jack Sikma. Look at Jack Sikma's face. Elvin Hayes just holding on to him with his hands. A lot of contact being allowed to take place out there, even though they called it close in the beginning of the ball game.
So Seals now taking Bobby Dandridge, who has returned. Webster switches out on Bobby. From the perimeter, Dandridge with his first points of this game. 53-39 and 3:30 to go first half. Sikma and John Johnson have not scored that much here in the first half. The guards are trying to do it all right now for Wilkins. Lead by Hayes to Henderson. He'll glide inside of Seals. Webster was back, though. Lead back now to Williams. Hayes is there to slow him down. Now he'll go back to position. Defensively and offensively, the Bullets have played extremely well. Garrettson stops play because of the foul.
Wes Unseld picks up that one, Brent.
We have not given the Washington Bullets enough credit for the defense that they've played. They have made the Sonics put the ball up from the perimeter a great deal, and they've matched up well with the guards, so they've cut down on a lot of quick, easy outlet shots that they would get.
Williams coming inside that time, and Unseld has picked up still another one.
You see the quick move right there as he goes through the basket. Wesley put his hand on him down low. The foul prior to that I thought was on Wesley also. It was on 1-4, not 4-1, and that's Tom Henderson.
So Henderson gets the prior foul, but that one goes to Unseld. So 2 fouls against Unseld, 2 against Wright and 2 against Elvin Hayes, 3 against Paul Silas, who is on the Seattle bench. It's a 13-point lead. And the Bullets came out here applying defensively and offensively pressure right from the start.
They have been shooting the ball super from the outside. That's been the big difference, along with their pressure defense, because Seattle has not shot well from the outside.
Dandridge, Unseld picking Seals off. Bobby glides inside, was just short. Outlet Webster for Seals. 3-on-1. Williams off, and C.J. with a hand on it, held up the fast break. Now Brown with the perimeter shot, can't make it. Credit, great defense by Charles Johnson that time. Dandridge is back for the Bullets. Washington playing extremely well at both ends.
Super effort by Charlie Johnson. 3-on-1, and he broke it up.
Hayes coming around on Sigma. They can do no wrong here in the first half. 12 points for the Big E.
It was the last time you saw Elvin Hayes swing across the middle for a hook shot.
Elvin Hayes is 0-4 in championship competition. He was not on that 71 Baltimore team. He was then at San Diego. Hayes trying to draw the offense, overacted a bit. Sigma trying to put it down, and C.J. is there again. Harris in the ball. Brown comes back. Held his body up, double pump field goal. Johnson forced one up that time. Probably should have waited for a teammate, and then reached in.
We'll watch this last play here with Sigma. Now watch Elvin Hayes give the big fake right here. A little bump, and he gets a little Academy Award job. Sigma with the ball. Hayes playing him tough, got his hands all over him. A little bump there. Charles Johnson, who has great anticipation, sneaks in, almost picks up the ball. Then he went down, forced a shot up for a bad shot, and committed a silly foul.
We're saving $600.
We're saving.
This family has rented a Ryder truck
We're saving
and moved
600
500 miles.
We're saving 600
By packing and moving themselves, they saved a lot of money over what professional movers wanted. True, when you rent a Ryder truck, you have to do the work yourself.
We're saving 600
But if you just keep repeating how much money you're saving, you'll be amazed how much lighter those cartons will seem.
We're saving $600.
Wherever you may roam, you'll find our name is known. You can trust Delco. Thanks, Delco. Delco Freedom Battery.
I trust Delco batteries, and my reputation rides on Delco shock absorbers, because you never know when you're going to need Delco's smooth control.
When the road is curved and rough, you need the shock that's tough. You can trust Delco.
Thanks, Delco.
Delco shocks and batteries. Delco shocks and batteries.
Thanks, Delco.
Used to be, when I had a job to do around the house, it was one-on-one. Me against the house. And since the house was much bigger, I usually lost. Well, I've just changed all that with my new Black & Decker Workmate. It'll hold just about anything I want to work on, from a door to a pipe to a 200-pound dresser. In fact, my Workmate is so good at helping me work, I'm giving it Sunday off.
Workmate models available from about $40.
Next Saturday on the CBS Sports Spectacular, the World Welterweight Full Contact Karate Championship, along with highlights of last fall's World's Strongest Men competition. Next Saturday at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time on CBS. There's the coach of the Washington Bullets, Dick Motta, and when he was coaching the Bulls in Chicago, he used to repeatedly say to me, the Washington Bullets possess the finest talent in the NBA. Well, finally, Dick Motta's got a chance to prove it here in the championship series. Bernie Bickerstaff was the assistant coach for K.C. Jones when Washington lost 4 in a row to the Warriors back in 1975. Motta has changed with the times. He did not used to be a fast-breaking coach, but give him the opportunity now with the Bullets, and he'll put it away. The Bullets have been maligned this year as an old team. That is not true at all. They have got youth to go along with Unseld and Hayes. They have been an injured team. They played awfully well in spots against Philadelphia. Here they lead game one, 55-45 by 10. We're inside of 2 minutes, first half. Wilkins is screaming at the referees. He wants some help. Hayes waits and Sigma's out on him. Dandridge finally came out to the ball. Dandridge glides inside with that move of his. It's pretty, isn't he, when he's under control?
That was Seattle's best defensive series down that time, and they still scored. They have got to put more pressure and keep them from getting the ball down in so deep.
They're doing a good job of fronting off Webster, too, down here at the defensive end whenever they can. Give it up to Seals outside. So again, Seattle must stay with the perimeter shot, and they can't get the layups to go down. Dandridge on the glide, stayed right with it. Kicking ball, it'll go out of bounds. Going to go over now to Seattle of 104 and 57-45 Bullets on the lead.
If they're smart right now, they'll try to score a couple of baskets so they can stop Washington from scoring one. They can pick up 4 points there, and it'll be a situation where they'll only be trailing by 8 points, and that will make a big difference going in at halftime because all the pressure is going to be on Seattle with the series going 1-2-2.
Sikma. Back to 10. Inside of a minute now.
It's the time to expend yourself defensively right here. Try to stop them.
Seals is there on Dandridge, and the foul is called.
Block call on Seals. Fans, you hear the reaction. Let's watch the play here. Here's Seals guarding Dandridge. Watch his left arm a little bit.
Well, what we see there is a lot of people ought to be down in Hollywood. Seals flew off that time with just a little bit of contact, and Dandridge is going to get a couple easy free throws.
Didn't look like any foul at all. Just Seals falling down, trying to do an Elvin Hayes.
And that's the first free throw we have had missed in this championship game. As you see what we got coming up at halftime. Of course, Kevin Greavy will be in that competition, and we'll meet the CBS Player of the Year. Incidentally, the writers vote much too early for Coach of the Year, don't they? They overlooked Lenny Wilkins. Dennis Johnson now in the left corner. Webster wants it. Unseld is there. Webster up with the jump shot. Now the Sonics may have something going. Sikma and Webster have hit their last 2 field goals. Steve Jones and Rick Barry have told you they must get the big men inside to start scoring more. Williams staying now with Henderson as time runs out here in the first half. Henderson puts his head down and goes to the glass. 3 seconds, but there was a whistle.
Bruce Seals again picking up the foul.
Mata wants Ballard in there immediately now for some possible rebounding help. Dick making the move just as soon as he saw the situation out there on the floor.
He didn't want Wes Unseld to pick up that extra foul in case something happened on a rebound coming off of a missed shot, and so he gets him to the bench. Smart move.
Moving in a hurry.
Very important, the free throw line. That's 3 in a row now that the Bullets have missed. 8-point difference, 3 seconds to go. That will certainly help because Seattle will win trailing by less than 10. Well, he gets the penalty, so he can get it up to 10 points.
3 seconds. Washington will pressure the ball immediately, trying to prevent a last-second desperation shot if they can. End of the first half of Game 1 of the NBA World Championship Series, and the Washington Bullets, we would say, dominated.
Yes, they certainly did, Brent, and Seattle has to feel very good here in this crucial game, only trailing by 9, playing so poorly.
We're the Van Arsdales, Tom and Dick. We're identical twins, and we drink identical beers. Light beer from Miller. We love it. The best thing about light beer is it's less filling. Great taste. Less filling. It's got 1/3 less calories than the regular beer. Great taste, Tom. Less filling. And I'm not Tom. You are. I'm Dick. You think you are, but you never were.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
America, if you've got a taste for value like you've got a taste for apple pie, you've got to love Chevrolet's all-new mid-size Malibu. It's got more headroom, more legroom, more usable trunk room, and better mileage estimates. To top it all off, it's got a beautiful trim new body by Fisher and Chevy value through and through. The all-new mid-size Malibu. You're going to eat it up.
Hannigan, Flanagan, Mulligan.
The firm of Hannigan, Flanagan, Mulligan, Finnegan, Gilligan, and Logan had a big name, but a small office. Too small for a copier with an automatic sorter, until Xerox created the 3400 small copier. With its automatic sorter, it made up to 15 sets of documents in a small amount of time and a small amount of space.
Thank you.
Which made Hannigan, Flanagan, Mulligan, Finnegan, Gilligan, Logan,
Thank you.
and O'Rourke very happy.
Uh-oh. Found some more damage hiding way back under there. Gonna cost you more.
Oh, boy. And the insurance is settled. I guess I got stuck.
Not with Allstate.
Oh, yeah?
That kind of hidden damage gets you a new settlement. Fair is fair.
I'll check it out.
And Allstate believes that's the only way to settle a claim.
Well?
We'll pay for it.
Well.
When it comes to claims, Allstate wants to be fair.
And that's a promise from us, the good hands people.
Hi, everyone. I'm Don Cricky, and today our CBS horse competition continues in the quarterfinal round. I guess if you've ever played basketball, you know the game of horse, where you must duplicate your opponent's shot. A miss means a penalty letter. 5 misses, 5 letters, that spells horse, and you're out. Today, looking for a berth in the semifinal round, Kevin Greavy of the Washington Bullets and JoJo White of the Boston Celtics. And for more on the rules, here's Mendy Rudolph.
The basic rules of horse are as follows. The player in control must describe his shot beforehand. Now, 2 consecutive shots from the same area are not allowed unless someone moves at least 5 feet away. There are trick shots allowed. However, the same trick shot cannot be attempted more than once in the contest. The flip of the coin will determine who goes first. Now, there's going to be disputes out there, and if there are, my word will be the final judge.
Fly, Joe. JoJo White, the sharpshooter from the Celtics backcourt, won the flip and leads away.
Kevin Greavy gains control.
Off the board, regular, bank, and then I'm going to bank it in with my strong hand.
Strong hand, of course, the hand he normally shoots with. He is a left-handed shooter. Now JoJo White has to match up. JoJo got here, beating Terry Furlow and John Drew.
Okay, I'm going to bank it on this side and put it up with my left.
Kevin Greavy advanced to this quarterfinal matchup, beating Rudy Tomjanovich and Bingo Smith.
First letter, JoJo White.
So Greavy still with the shooting advantage.
I'm going to use a prop as side of the board. I'm going to grab it and go and do a reverse layup off the board.
We allow 1 prop shot.
One prop shot. What is he doing?
So Greavy's going to come down the baseline of the court, grab a stanchion, holding up the backboard, and come in from the other side. Which he does. So now JoJo White has to match it up. JoJo, normally a right-handed shooter, will come from the other side. Of course, maintaining the shooting advantage is of paramount importance. When a player's in the lead, as the shooter, you can't put a letter on him. That's been the case with Greavy. He's had the advantage almost from the outset.
I'm going to do it with my weak hand.
With the weak hand. Swish or bank?
Bank. I'm not going to step in either.
All right, just going to jump right in.
Greavy's a 6'5" guard forward, played mostly in the backcourt this year out of Kentucky. Had a big season. And now he gives JoJo White a problem because JoJo's a couple of inches shorter. That makes it all the more difficult to reach out that far.
Off the board with the left hand. Why you do that to me, man? JoJo, I got to, buddy. You make more money than I am.
JoJo White wants to get that shooting advantage back. JoJo's a guy who can gun up that one-handed pop shot and put anybody out. He took out Furlow and Drew in short order. But now, with Greavy in the shooting advantage, JoJo White has a problem just getting the lead.
Tough shot, bro.
The Celtic has enough. But still, the shooting advantage is with Kevin Greavy, and he's up 2 letters to none.
Go off-handed, JoJo. Right hand here.
Now, JoJo, a right-handed shooter, has to put that up with the left hand.
Letter, JoJo.
So right now, JoJo has a problem, and Kevin Greavy still leads away.
Thanks, Joe.
Kevin Greavy openly maintains that the success he had in this horse competition boosted his confidence this year, helped him have a good season.
JoJo.
And now he's got JoJo down 4 love.
Go up, fake my left, go around with my right again.
As competition at the Omni International Complex in Atlanta could be coming to a close. If JoJo White can't hit that, he doesn't get the roll, and it's over. And so, we have one of our semifinalists decided.
Kevin Greavy of the Washington Bullets advances to the semifinal round. Kevin, you shut out a real good player in JoJo White. That's a big win.
Yeah, it really is for me. I'm just glad that I could advance. I definitely had some strategy this time. Going against JoJo, who is a great jump shooter and uses the board well, I wanted to try my trick shots early, try to get a lead and get my confidence and try to get him down. And it worked for me today. I advance now against Pistol Pete, and that's going to be a tough one.
You're making some money.
Well, I'm awfully happy to be here. Thanks to CBS.
All right, Kevin Greavy of the Washington Bullets, now a semifinalist.
A loser in the quarterfinal round receives a check for $2,000. The eventual winner will get $15,000. The next time out, it's Wilbur Holland versus Maurice Lucas.
The NBA's World Championship Series on CBS will return after these messages from your local stations.
Ray's campaign to win back his wife even touches his daughter's Sunday school play on Baby I'm Back, tomorrow on CBS.
Competition at the Omni International Complex in Atlanta could be coming to a close. If JoJo White can't hit that, he doesn't get the roll, and it's over. And so, we have one of our semifinalists decided.
Kevin Greavy of the Washington Bullets advances to the semifinal round. Kevin, you shut out a real good player in JoJo White. That's a big win.
Yeah, it really is for me. I'm just glad that I could advance. I definitely had some strategy this time. Going against JoJo, who is a great jump shooter and uses the board well, I wanted to try my trick shots early, try to get a lead and get my confidence and try to get him down. And it worked for me today. I advance now against Pistol Pete, and that's going to be a tough one.
You're making some money.
Well, I'm awfully happy to be here. Thanks to CBS.
All right, Kevin Greavy of the Washington Bullets, now a semifinalist.
A loser in the quarterfinal round receives a check for $2,000. The eventual winner will get $15,000. The next time out, it's Wilbur Holland versus Maurice Lucas.
The NBA's World Championship Series on CBS will return after these messages from your local stations.
Ray's campaign to win back his wife even touches his daughter's Sunday school play on Baby I'm Back, tomorrow on CBS.
The scene, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Last year's NBA All-Star Game, Paul Westphal and John Havlicek were among some of the stars who put on a tremendous show. And for the crowd, well, there was something very special at halftime.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're pleased this afternoon to present the national finals of the Pepsi-Cola NBA Hot Shot Competition.
It was the first Hot Shot Finals ever, and 12 youngsters certainly put on a show that afternoon in Milwaukee. Now there are 5 different Hot Shot spots on the floor, and each of these shooters is awarded points depending upon distance and angle from the basket. To take a look at our 15-year-old winner. He's out of Brooklyn, Frank Treat, and he made 8 in a row from 24 feet at a tough angle. And remember now, this was before a standing room only crowd and a national television audience. You talk about some poise under pressure. Now, of course, it's not really surprising that the finalists in the Hot Shot program show all of this tremendous talent, because they are the best of the best after a summer-long series of competition. Each year, Hot Shot starts with more than 2.5 million youngsters playing in more than 15,000 playgrounds and gymnasiums. They're organized by more than 1,500 different youth service organizations. Hot Shot was created by Pepsi-Cola and the NBA to provide valuable recreational programming to these youth organizations free of charge. The Hot Shot game was specially designed so that youngsters of all abilities can participate, from the top young athlete right down to the beginner. And everyone wins an award. Now, since the summer began, youngsters have been competing up to an enormous national ladder to reach next week's championship round. Over the last 2 weeks, you have watched the semifinals on CBS, and we'll be there next Sunday to televise the finals live. And the girls 9 to 12, here's Sandy Harding from Auburn, New York. She'll be matched against Sandy Spears from Indianapolis, Indiana. In the boys 9 to 12, Kenny Smith from Rego Park, New York, is up against Kevin Lute from Albany, Oregon. In the girls 13-15, Elizabeth Lucky from Ogdensburg, New York, will go against Terry Reinecker from Salem, Oregon. And in the boys 13-15, Phil Gwizdowski from Cleveland, Ohio, will play against Troy Font from Holt, Missouri. In the girls 16-18, Judith Burgess from Austell, Georgia, is matched against Nancy Garcia from Denver, Colorado. In the boys 16-18, Joe Shachowitz from Buffalo, New York, is matched against Kevin Eason from Oakland, California. And we'll see you next week live at the finals of the Pepsi-Cola Hot Shot. All right, let's check in with Jimmy the Greek now, who twice in a row has set a firm to win first the Kentucky Derby and now the Preakness. June 10th, Belmont on CBS. Will it be another Triple Crown?
I think so, Brent. But there's going to be a lot of new horses and a lot of new faces. Rondinello will probably come in with Darby Creek Road, and he's training him to go long, but I like a firm.
Now, it's, of course, the longest of the Triple Crown races. Will Alydar have enough running room this time to get him?
That track is plenty wide. I don't think Alydar will ever pass a firm.
Bobby Bonds was traded by the Chicago White Sox down to Texas. Any other teams interested in Bonds?
Yeah, the Oakland A's. He wants to trade Sousa. Finley wants to trade Sousa for Bonds.
What about NFL possible franchise expansions? Which cities are really interested, Jimmy?
Anaheim and Phoenix. Anaheim definitely wants a team, even if the Rams don't go there. And a lot of teams are looking at Phoenix to move there.
All right, Jimmy, we'll see you next Sunday, Landover, Maryland. Game 3. Again, the reminder that Game 2 of this championship series will be played in Landover on Thursday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Time.
What you up to, old-timer? Putting Olympic overcoat over old paint. Not you old paint, this old paint. Overcoat? It's the latex house paint made to cover old paint. Flows like cream, wears like iron. That tough acrylic finish lasts for years. Olympic overcoat. You can't buy a better house paint. Real, Bert.
In 1895, there was only Dave Lennox. Now, 6,000 independent dealers install and service Lennox air conditioning and heating. They keep close touch with Lennox people who provide training on such innovations as solar energy or Lennox heat pumps that air condition in summer and cut heating costs up to 40% in winter.
Call your independent Lennox dealer. He's an energy saver.
on a business trip, you've got no time to waste. And nobody knows that better than Hertz. Whether it's picking up or dropping off your Ford or other fine car, nobody has more to do it faster.
Getting you in, getting you out with super speed. Hertz, the superstar in rent-a-car. Hertz, the superstar in rent-a-car.
You know it.
What does it take to get a loan from your full-service banker so that you can open a small business like this? Let's ask two people who know, Bruce and Phyllis Doty.
We were turned down once, Ed.
But then our banker found we had experience, some collateral, and a good credit rating.
So you got the loan.
And now we've got 3 stores.
That's full-service banking, making good loans, creating jobs, helping people get started. No financial institution can help you and your community more than a full-service bank.
I'm a lucky man. I rebounded from some terrible childhood diseases to become a healthy person. I have 3 active, healthy children for whom I give thanks every day of my life. Maybe that's why I became so active with the variety clubs. Variety works for kids, handicapped, underprivileged kids everywhere. Give a kid a chance for life. Open up your heart and let the sun shine in. Give your help to the variety clubs.
The preceding announcement was brought to you as a public service by the National Basketball Association. The NBA on CBS is sponsored by all the new 1978 Chevrolets now at your Chevy dealers everywhere. The Kellys Springfield Tire Company, the Kellys, they're good and tough. And by the Miller Brewing Company, brewers of Miller High Life. If you've got the time, we've got the beer.
Last week in Denver, the CBS Sports Department announced whom it had selected as the NBA's Player of the Year. We were there. We've had an awful lot of fun with our MVP awards during the NBA telecasts, and along with it, Chevrolet has presented a $1,000 scholarship to the college or university that a particular player has attended. Kevin Greavy has won it for Kentucky, Dennis Johnson for Pepperdine, and it's with a great deal of pleasure that I welcome back a friend, Bob Cook, who is the General Sales Manager of the Chevrolet Motor Division of General Motors. Bob, nice to have you here.
Thank you very much, Brent.
You know, overall this year, Chevrolet has awarded better than $80,000 in scholarship money during our CBS telecasts. And, Bob, I think you should explain exactly who that scholarship money benefits.
Well, I'd like to. It goes to the university and college's general scholarship fund. And, of course, those funds benefit men and women alike, regardless of what courses they study. And we're very proud of those contributions. And we're particularly pleased that almost 1/2 of the most valuable player awards this season have gone to schools that have not previously been involved in any of our scholarship awards during the 7 years we've been there. That's one reason we turned to CBS and NBA, because we wanted to expand the coverage, and it's worked out just beautifully. We're delighted with it. And I want to tell you that we're also elated with the selections that you and the other sportscasters have made. They've been terrific.
Thank you. You know, Bob, we got together, not only the announcers, but the producers and the directors, and we had a vote for the most valuable player for the entire season. He's with us here today. Let's bring him out now. The Iceman himself from San Antonio, George Gervin.
George, congratulations to you. It's a pleasure on behalf of Chevrolet to present this trophy to you that's symbolic of your selection as the Chevrolet Player of the Year. You know, you turned in an absolutely great performance this year. You're the NBA scoring champ with 27-plus points every game. You set 23 San Antonio club records, and you were voted the Spurs' most valuable and most popular player. And I want you to know that in addition to that trophy, there is a check for $5,000 that's going to Eastern Michigan University, to their general scholarship fund, in your name. Good luck to you.
Thank you very much, and I'd like to thank you, Mr. Cook, and I'd also like to thank Chevrolet and, of course, CBS for making this award possible.
Okay, George.
All right, Mr. Iceman, keep pouring those baskets in, Big George. All right. And Bob, thank you very much for being with us today.
My pleasure.
It was the night of November 30th, and the Seattle Supersonics decided to change coaches. Their record at the time, 5 wins and 17 defeats. And the man who was selected to step in, their director of player personnel, Lenny Wilkins. And here now in the second half, Lenny Wilkins and the Supersonics must come back and catch Washington in game 1, and they're going to get a lot of help from this crowd.
That's right. And Steve, that first half, all Washington.
But no question about it. The big difference, if we look at it, was the starters. The benches both contributed 18 points. Fred Brown got 12, and then the 55% shooting by Washington, and their bench players, Wright, Kupchak, and Ballard and Johnson, it seemed to be more evenly distributed with 6 and 4 between them.
Right, and Seattle only shot 40%, but the big difference on the boards, 28 rebounds for the Sonics, only 18 for Washington, 11 offensive for Seattle, and that kept them in the ballgame, only 2 for the Washington Bullets. And so Seattle, with their backs against the wall here in the first game because of the 1-2-2 situation, they have got to come out and play some basketball.
Webster comes back to help out against the full court pressure applied by the Bullets as we start the second half from the Seattle Center Coliseum. Game 4 will be played in the Kingdome. If there is a Game 5, back here in the Coliseum. Sonics now trying to cut that lead even further. They go back to Sikma from Gus Williams, and they hit the first field goal of the second half. Back to within 7, 58-51.
Saw the good pressure again by Washington. They're playing good defense out there. That's one of the reasons Seattle shot so poorly.
Unseld, Hayes, Henderson, Dandridge, and Greavy with the ball. Start the second half for Dick Motta. Webster got Greavy to arch it high, and it still went in. John Johnson, small forward for Lenny Wilkins, gives it up to Williams, and it's an offensive foul against Gus.
Let's take a look back under the basket of Hayes and Sikma. You can see him right there and what's going on underneath the boards. Quite a battle between those two players. And Elvin, of course, with the experience against that rookie.
Bullets are over on the left sideline. John Johnson with Dandridge. Dandridge scoreless in the first quarter. It's his first shot here in the second half. And so for Dandridge now, he has scored 6 points, all since that slow first quarter for him.
If the teams both have to continue to come down and set up, Washington is going to win the game because they have more patience and they work the offense a lot better than the Sonics.
Wilkins wants the foul called. Shot is off. Dandridge goes to Henderson.
That's not where they went to see Webster shooting the ball from.
Greavy. It won't stay. Bullets with just one shot. They have not gotten many offensive rebounds. Dennis Johnson goes to the left hand and fouled as he came inside. Wes Unseld's third.
That, of course, could be a big factor. Wesley doing such a good job inside. Lenny Wilkins a little bit happy with that, as are the fans.
And here is the young man who certainly defensively contributed a great deal to the defeat of the Denver Nuggets. Dennis Johnson, virtually an unknown out of Pepperdine. The Los Angeles Lakers later protesting that he was ineligible, drafted by the Sonics. The league in agreement, but by then it was too late. And Dennis Johnson has turned out into one of the fine all-around guards in the NBA. Greavy with Johnson there. Sikma. The Bullets get just one shot each time down the floor here. Williams glides inside, but was sealed up by Hayes and went to Marvin. Webster has it knocked free. Henderson trying to retrieve. Sikma going out of bounds.
Watch Elvin Hayes right here. You see him when the ball is off there, how he just zones up in the middle right there. Goes after the ball. Might have caught a little bit of arm. Didn't get called for the foul, so the Bullets get a break.
And it's a 10-point lead. 62-52 with 9:53 in the third. Webster hanging back in the middle now. Dandridge's shot is off, and Sikma's on the other side. Dennis Johnson retrieves, goes into John Johnson.
Looks like Seattle's really trying to run the ball up the floor a lot more than they did in the first half. Good
Greavy
defense.
loses. Dennis Johnson goes for the loose ball. There's a foul. Greavy.
Dennis Johnson still playing that dislocated finger that he had. Here's the play right here. Greavy going after it. Gus Williams, good position. Ball on the floor. Greavy making the contact. Good call by Darryl Garretson.
We've got a timeout here in Seattle. The Supersonics appear to have regrouped. Dennis Johnson, though, is being tended to by the trainer.
You work the docks. The ships are too big, the loads are too heavy, and the days are too long. But every day you do it, and another ship with a full belly heads out to sea, and you head in for Miller time. Time to relax with the best tasting beer you can find, Miller High Life.
If you've got the time, we've got the beer. Miller beer.
Got the feeling that it's time to trade in your old truck? That a brand new truck is what you'd really like? Well,
It's tough truck trading days at your Chevy dealers. And right.
so what are you waiting for? Your Chevy dealer probably has the truck you want in stock right now. So why don't you hop into your old truck and see your Chevy dealer today? It's tough truck trading days. Chevy trucks, built to stay tough.
The Dutch Masters buyers are in France for the international auction of rare African Cameroon tobacco. There are two secrets they must keep to win some of the best leaf for Dutch Masters. The exact leaf they want and the price they'll pay.
That's a nice color.
When their bid is opened by the French auctioneers, they'll learn if they've won some of the best.
Acheteur Dutch Masters.
Taste the taste the world competes for in a Dutch Masters Cameroon Elite. There really are masters at Dutch Masters.
Dennis Johnson with ice being applied to the middle finger on his right hand during that timeout. Seattle with the basketball, trailing 62-54. Greavy trying to stay up on Dennis Johnson. Sikma.
Watch how Jack Sikma gets open. He just takes Elvin Hayes and shoves him out of the way. That was no whack that time by Elvin Hayes.
It is Fierce away from the basketball underneath. Hayes and Sikma. Dandridge ducks underneath Webster.
They have a 3-second call that time. You'll see up here working up high. Dandridge does a good job to get Webster on him, and down and deep you see Elvin Hayes bumping and pushing in there, and that's where the 3 seconds is called. Seattle has the ball and a chance to cut the lead.
Williams on the weave. Unseld, outlet. Lead to Greavy. 64-56. An 8-point Washington lead. They have had the upper hand all the way.
Seattle missed a golden opportunity. Gus Williams made a great drive, but he was intimidated by Elvin Hayes and missed what looked like a fairly easy shot on the drive.
Holding foul called on that pass into Webster.
We'll watch the play here. Here's Webster with the ball. Right over there, Bobby Dandridge trying to impede the progress of John Johnson. The official says, can't do that, Bobby.
Greavy seals the middle up on Dennis Johnson, and there was pushing called. It's against Kevin.
Let's watch Hayes and Sikma again. Here we go. Elvin with a little stiff arm action. Say, here, take that, Jack. Get out of the way.
They should all be playing football out there the way they're stiff arming everybody, breaking loose.
Johnson spinning around, lost control. Henderson to Dandridge. 8-10, third quarter, Greavy again. Kevin running it down. Inside to E. Went back to the left-hand tap in. Now that time, Seattle gave Washington control of the offensive board, something they have not done since early in the second quarter. And the Bullets go back to a 10-point lead with Game 2 scheduled in Landover Thursday night. On the turnover, it's 2-on-1. Greavy leading Henderson, got it back. And the Bullets quickly put together field goals and open up a 12-point lead, 7:30. There will be a timeout called right here. So just when it appeared as though the Supersonics were ready to make a run, the Bullets came right back. And if you don't think that it's not physical, take a look at Webster trying to muscle in on the E, Elvin Hayes.
The Kellys have a way to save gasoline from the ground up. A steel-belted radial called the Kelly gas pincher. When we tested a set of gas pinchers against our non-radials, the gas pincher pinched from 14.5 up to 31.7 more miles out of a tank of gas. That's hundreds of more miles a year with the gas pinchers.
We're the Kelly. Rolling, 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 rolling.
your muffler! Miticize it! Why put up with a noisy muffler?
Better miticize!
Miticize your car and you'll never buy a muffler for it again. Because at Midas, if anything ever goes wrong, we'll replace the muffler free for as long as you own your American-made car. Noisy muffler? Don't compromise.
Miticize. The next time you're going to Sears, bring along your homeowner's policy and drop it by the Allstate booth.
Try and beat that. Allstate challenges you to come in and compare, because there's never been a better time to check homeowners' insurance rates.
While you're shopping, we'll compare your present homeowner's insurance with Allstate's. Chances are, we just might save you some money.
You did it! Come in and compare.
Thank you.
You're in good hands with Allstate.
Jack Nicklaus has lost a stroke in the Memorial Golf Tournament. We'll be going down for the conclusion of that final round. Right now, the Seattle Supersonics have the basketball. They trail Washington by 12 points in Game 1 of the NBA Championship Series with 7 minutes and 29 seconds to go, third quarter. Kevin Greavy has scored 16. He's defending against Johnson. And it is fierce. Wilkins got the technical. He was up complaining that time because no foul was called against Greavy, and Garrettson hit him with a tee. It's the second one we've had called, one earlier against Elvin Hayes.
There's no
Greavy
question.
will come down.
That's a psychological flaw as far as I'm concerned. Lenny Wilkins knew he was going to get a technical foul. Seemed like he wanted to take it. He just thinks that the officials are not giving him a fair shake out here, and he wants to try and get his team ignited. Sometimes it works. Sometimes it doesn't.
You know it had to be some kind of psychology involved because Lenny has only had 2 technicals in his coaching career. That was his second.
He has been much more demonstrative this afternoon than I can remember him ever being during the Denver series. It's a tongue war underneath both baskets. Dennis Johnson, the left-hand dribble pull-up. Spins out, and Elvin Hayes gives Seattle but one shot, and here come the Bullets. Henderson will start it from the left side against Freddie Brown. Bobby Dandridge with Dennis Johnson on him right now. John Johnson on the double team. Greavy's all alone if they can get him the ball. And he pushed off offensive foul, trying to find daylight. It'll go against Dandridge.
And Johnson did an excellent job of coming over to double team right there. They just completely get on Dandridge and smother him right there with the left arm. You saw the hook on Dennis Johnson. Good call by the officials.
13-point Washington lead in 6 minutes and 54 seconds to go in quarter number 3. Johnson goes underneath, and again, Greavy ricocheting off it. Now they switch underneath. You could see the contact. Offense is the call.
And you could see right here some foul being called right there in the situation where Sigma was pushing against Hayes. They're knocking bodies. You didn't even see Greavy was holding on to Freddie Brown coming around. Officials are going to have to get on top of it. We might have a fight break out here.
Sigma with Hayes. Hayes backing in. Turn around. Brown came over on the double team. Both Sigma and Freddie were right there. And it'll go against Brown.
And before Elvin went up for that one, he took a couple of shots with his left elbow into Sigma's chest. And there's Fred coming over, picking up the foul. The elbows occurred just before that shot went up. And they are really going at it hot and heavy. And I know we're saying a great deal about this contact, but it's going on, and we have to point it out. And the officials are going to have to get on top of it quickly.
Well, you shouldn't be surprised with the Dick Motta team involved. Jerry Sloan, Norm Van Leer. They survived on the strength of that tough defensive play. And the Bullets have gone to the muscle. Wes Unseld showed up today in a black shirt and black slacks.
The Sonics are going to have to try and negate that by moving the ball and moving themselves a lot quicker. They are allowing themselves to get muscled around by coming down and playing setup basketball.
Freddie Brown went to John Johnson. Dandridge with a quick hand knocked it out of bounds. Again, Wes Unseld, the dark shirt, dark slacks. I said, Wes, you look like a gunslinger. Come to town for your big fight. And he said, yes, I do, and I intend to win this one this afternoon. 0-8 in championship play, but with a lead here against Seattle. Brown goes to John Johnson and screens.
Well, they got a good shot that time, but again, it is from the perimeter.
Greavy to the left side. Dennis Johnson there, and Webster yelling out instructions. Watch for the Unseld pick. Greavy seizes the baseline. And Kevin Greavy has scored 19 points, 5:54 in the third.
I'm really impressed by the way Washington is playing. No question in my mind, they are playing the best basketball I've seen them play all year long.
Under control, which they weren't earlier in the season, and everyone seems to understand what they're supposed to do.
Johnson came down the right sideline. dribble into the middle and hit it. 73-60. It's a 13-point Bullet lead. Henderson left alone after getting Freddie Brown off him.
See the difference. Washington shooting the ball from 8 feet and in. Seattle mainly from 15 and further.
Brown racing back, hit the ball out of bounds with his legs, so it'll go to the Bullets. And again, this championship series goes 1-2-2 with Game 2 in Landover, Maryland on Thursday night. The last time we had that format, Golden State won Game 1 in Landover from Washington and then swept. Hayes to the basket.
Notice how easily they're getting the ball down and deep. Elvin Hayes that time just came across where he'd been in a war, but he got the ball down and deep and scored very easily.
Lenny Wilkins calling a timeout right now. His team is not executing well offensively. They continue to go from the outside. Their defense is breaking down as a result of that. Washington's getting easy shots inside. They're in trouble.
See what's new today in a Chevrolet.
To the more than 600,000 people who bought the new Chevrolet during its very first year, thank you. You've made it the most popular car in America. For the rest of you, a simple reminder. With its advanced design, the new Chevrolet has more headroom, more rear seat legroom, more trunk room, and more. So drive it. The new Chevrolet. Now that's more like it.
Gillette Track 2, please. Sold out again. Say, you look like a double-edged man to me. Daring, unafraid. No, the Gillette Track 2 gives me a more comfortable shave. Silly me. These other twin blades will fit your Track 2 handle. Yeah, but they're not Gillette Track 2. Yeah, but sorry.
To guys who use a twin blade Gillette Track 2, no other blade will do.
Gillette Track 2, please.
This amazing motor oil from Exxon can actually save money. Golden Natural Uniflow. Uniflow was tested in cars like yours. After break-in, it delivered an overall average of 16 extra miles per tank full. Savings like that could cut your gasoline bill the equivalent of about 3 cents a gallon. Every day you wait to change to Uniflow could cost you money. Uniflow conserves gasoline, saves money.
The NBA's Deputy Commissioner, Cy Gordine, watching this action from Game 1 here at the Seattle Center Coliseum. We have 4 minutes and 56 seconds to play in quarter number 3, and the Bullets lead the Sonics by 17 points, and the Sonics have won 20 straight games right here. Hayes jumping out on Sickman, no foul, crowd can't believe it. Lenny Wilkins just shaking his head that time. Johnson up outside on Greavy, Dandridge with control.
Well, whatever Lenny Wilkins told him, it certainly wasn't done. I'm sure he wanted him to get the ball inside.
Freddie that time pushed out at Henderson, looked over at Garrettson and said, well, if they can do it, so can we. Unsell waiting now for an open cutter, just holding the ball. Shot clock down now toward 5. Hayes backing in on Sickma. Turnaround. With 4 seconds, foul call. It'll go against Seattle, and this crowd is terribly upset right now about the officiating with Paul Silas checking in.
Well, in that situation, Elvin Hayes was out a little bit further than his normal range, and Jack Sickman picked up a silly foul. He was taking a fadeaway jump shot, and there's no reason to bump. We'll watch the play here. He's playing it pretty good. There he goes moving in with the body as he tries to take a tough shot. If he's going to beat you with that type of shot, you're in big trouble.
A sign of a frustrated basketball player. He's had a tough time down at the offensive end, not being able to get the basketball where he wants to get it and use it. He has scored, but he's had a difficult time in doing it, and that's been the result of it. He has to go to the bench. They tried to double up on Hayes that time, but Fred Brown came too late.
19 for E. Freddie Brown comes around. Webster goes to the shot. Greavy, strong rebounding guard, as is the man he's matched against Dennis Johnson. Unsell runs it down. Here's Greavy. He moves all over the floor, doesn't he? John Johnson gives the Bullets 1 shot that time. Sonics cannot afford to wait. But he pumps inside, and there was a loose ball foul as it ricocheted off.
Well, Paul Silas tried here again, working his way in, and Silas does as well. He clears bodies out. He comes over someone's back Unseld. Of course, a lot of guys have been acting this afternoon.
Dandridge. Webster off to Dennis Johnson. Bullets are back on defense, and Dennis Johnson. And there's Paul Silas at the offensive end.
Notice the difference in the offensive prize, though. Washington is getting their shots a lot easier than the Supersonics.
Greavy forced his way inside and drew the foul.
Well, you see Paul Silas at his best. There he gets inside position. You see him make contact with Hayes, keeps him off. The ball comes to him. He goes up. Elvin actually looked like he might have got a hand on the ball and helps it go in the basket.
Greavy shooting for point number 20. So he has enjoyed so far better success in game one against Dennis Johnson than David Thompson of Denver did.
He's more successful because he gets down quicker than David Thompson did. He tries to get down and get the quick opportunity shot, and he doesn't try and challenge the defense as much as Thompson did.
Plus, he shoots from about 15 feet further out.
80-62. Bullets with a big lead in game one. Unseld reaching in on Marvin Webster. Picked up number 4.
That will be the penalty situation. Both teams will go into the penalty. Sonics have 14 fouls right now. 4 fouls on Wes Unseld. And Washington has kept up their torrid shooting percentage. Brent, I felt that they would slough off somewhat, but perhaps that might come in the fourth quarter. And I've seen too many NBA ball games where the fourth quarter you've seen a complete turnaround as Larry Wright comes into the ball game.
Normally, Washington would give you a chance to get back in the basketball game because they would put the ball up, but they have been able to control the tempo of the basketball game, at least in this first 3 quarters, a lot better than they did in the regular season.
Greavy, Unseld, Hayes, Larry Wright, and Dandridge on the floor for Mata. Dandridge. Great pass to Unseld. Looked like he was coming up for the shot, drew the double team, and just flicked it to West.
Bobby Dandridge has not scored a lot of points, but he's played a very smart ball game this afternoon.
John Johnson took it back outside with a 3-second try emanating from one of the Bullets, and we've got a foul. Freddie Brown was jumping in on Larry Wright in the backcourt.
That's a good call. Watch the play right here. You see Freddie get in front of him, gets pretty good position. But what you could see right there, you could see it. He put his hand around him, was trying to draw him into him and pick up the foul.
He's singing that song, Does Your Mother Know About Me?
Freddie trying to pull out all the tricks here.
Sonics have to try and get back to what is their style of basketball, which is getting up and down the court as quickly as they possibly can.
And they have to shore up that defense. Their defense is very porous at this stage.
Here's Silas going to Marvin Webster, and Elvin Hayes just bumping him back outside. Freddie Brown glides in with a shot.
No weak side help that time. Freddie able to penetrate weak side guard. The man away from the ball should have dropped in the middle to cut off that penetration lane.
Kupchak will report in for Dick Mata. Lob to Hayes, a little too soft. Silas got a hand, and here's Dennis Johnson. Bounce pass to Webster, who comes up on Unseld. Nice shot by a 7-footer that time. (84-69), and inside of 2 minutes in the third quarter. Dandridge goes back to West, and here's Greavy. Dennis Johnson, but the Bullets are back on defense. They're not giving them any easy baskets. Fred Brown from the right corner, taken down inside by John Johnson.
Whoa, what a tough shot that time. Johnny Johnson. He just did a super effort that time to get the ball over the E. The crowd responds. They've cut the lead down to 13 points. And we're going to take a look at Paul Silas and Elvin Hayes on the prior play. Just watch this contact here. Look at these two guys going at it. This is a non-contact sport, isn't it, Brent?
Alvin always looks to draw the foul.
And here's the play again. Dennis Johnson makes the move. Out to Freddie Brown. Freddie Brown off it. There you go. John Johnson making a good play right here on the rebound.
Just like last
and
night,
Lenny Wilkins.
You see when West goes out, you double team Daniels, he's got to kick it out. He's not going to shoot it from way out there. See, so that's what we can do. Also, remember, when Paul is fronting Elvin, he's got to be a little bit alert. Of course, they're going to try and lob the pass in there. Okay? So wherever the weak side people are, take a look.
He's going up to the top of the key, but Marvin just fuck him and come back and help me.
He said he's going to the side. Exactly.
Don't go with him, Marvin.
All right?
Let him go with him, okay? Yeah, I mean, if he gonna make that one and beat us, let him beat us, okay?
Listen, they cut you going up, but then go back. Okay? Now listen, every time down and look, we gotta have something. You don't have to break. Bring it out like we did. Move that thing.
The big thing is Lenny Wilkins talking about. We see that the Belmont Stakes are coming up, right? On Saturday, he said he wants Paul Silas to front Elvin Hayes, and he does not want Marvin Webster to go with Wes Unser. He said, let him go outside. If they're going to beat us out there at that shot, let him do it. You stay in there and help us with Hayes and stop that inside stuff.
Stressing that they must have something every time down the court. In the last minute of the third quarter, and they trail it by 13 points. Wright, CJ has checked in now for Dick Motta, the Bullets backcourt. Kupchak is up front. Dandridge is off. Kupchak runs it down in the corner, and he'll go to the shot. It's off, and here's Silas. Now the Sonics. John Johnson thinks he's got something. Silas does indeed. Inside, came up and drew the foul.
Amazing what a couple of plays will do to bring the crowd back to life. We see the play here. Paul on the boards again, a great play. Bobby Dandridge hitting him on the arms as he attempts to go back up.
More amazing is how a team's offense seems to pick up their defense, and they've gotten a couple of quick baskets. Tough one, that one by Johnny Johnson seemed to give them a lift, and they think they're back in a basketball game.
Brent, that happens so often in this game. The offense dictates what happens on the defense, and it should be the opposite way. If you work hard the defense all the time, you're going to ignite your offense more often, and of course, you're not going to fall behind by 18 and 20 points if you're playing the tough D all the time.
You can make it in the NBA even if you're not a great shooter. And there's a perfect example as Paul Silas puts down the free throw that time. What a lift he has given the Sonics so many times as he did the Boston Celtics. 84-73. Inside of 40 seconds. Wright comes around the Kupchak screen. Dennis Johnson sealed it up. Ball went out of bounds. Sonics almost had the turnover.
Intimidation, that is what Paul Silas is now playing with Elvin Hayes, and he is just pushing him around in the middle. There have been no whistles.
Webster there on Hayes. Dandridge, Charles Johnson, and Webster, and here come the Sonics. Freddie Brown in the middle. Brown off the side. Kupchak is there, and so's Dandridge. Now the Bullets come back out of bounds. With 17 seconds, it'll go to the Sonics.
Sonics got a break there. They had an opportunity to score a basket. Dandridge had the ball out. They had a good break situation, but Wright was not able to hang on to the ball, so they get the last shot of the quarter. At least they should play for the last shot.
Silas to screen out high. Johnson battles his way back to Freddie Brown, and Silas just pushing that time. Here's John Johnson trying to find daylight. Dandridge is there. Silas, no shot. Did not run it down in time. Have we seen action out here?
It's absolutely incredible. We have only 11-point difference right now. Seattle has battled their way back in this ball game. This is usually Fred Brown's quarter.
It's a fresh new slice of apple pie from Chevrolet team. A fresh new slice of apple pie called Chevy Malibu.
We saw you coming, America, and here we are with a new mid-size Malibu wagon designed to carry you well into the years ahead. With mileage estimates no other mid-size six-cylinder wagon can top, with all kinds of room inside, plus a smart new look that's not going to go unnoticed.
A fresh new slice of apple pie called Chevy Malibu.
At your Chevrolet wagon stop now.
The NBA on CBS will continue after this word from your local station. Gather your family for the film classic The Yearling, the unforgettable story of a boy and a young deer. Tuesday on CBS.
A year ago, it was Seattle Slew winning the Belmont and capturing the Triple Crown. Saturday afternoon, June 10th on CBS, you will see if Affirmed can duplicate it. Back-to-back Triple Crown winners, wouldn't that be something? Special edition of the CBS Sports Spectacular, June 10th. We start the fourth quarter. I'm Brent Musburger, Rick Barry and Steve Jones. Game 1 of the NBA Championship Series. Game 2 is Thursday night. Hayes on the turnaround, and Silas gives the Bullets one shot, but Kupchak's got it back. Bullets have controlled this game. Dandridge, Johnson, Wright, Kupchak, and Hayes on the floor for Mata. Bad pass. Johnson got a hand out and couldn't control. CJ come out. He is arguing now with Darryl Garrettson about possession. It'll go to the Bullets. They're up by 11.
Break for the Bullets. It looked like Charles Johnson actually touched that ball last.
See, the Sonics have improved their shooting, and the Bullets have cooled off finally.
Defense critical for the Sonics. Wright given the open shot and a miss. Dennis Johnson, strong rebounding guard. Here's one of those important trips that Lenny Wilkins pointed out during that timeout. It'll be Webster. Over Kupchak. Silas battling. Hayes is up over his back that time. No question about it.
No foul, though. He called the ball going over the top of the basket, out of bounds, off of Elvin Hayes' tip. And you see it come over the corner there. That's what the call was. The ball will be going out of bounds on the sideline to the Sonics.
Tommy Henderson checks in.
They want to make a change defensive assignments. They want to get Charles Johnson's going to play against Dennis Johnson to bring Henderson in on Brown. He's a little bit taller, try to bother the shot somewhat.
So Dennis Johnson has got CJ underneath. Now he pops out behind a double screen trying to get free. There he is. Dennis Johnson to the glass.
Charlie Johnson got picked off on a double screen. Nobody made a defensive adjustment in that situation. That enabled Dennis Johnson to get the easy opportunity.
10 minutes and 50 seconds to go. Washington trying to win game 1 and then go home for games 2 and 3. Dandridge hits Henderson. Johnson coming in, Henderson and Kupchak there, and the foul called against Henderson.
Sonics defense has picked up. They have forced Washington now to put up tough perimeter shots, and they're only limited them to one shot, and they're coming down and getting better shots themselves. They're bringing the big tank back in the game. They're going to shut down that middle a little bit more.
When you say, where was this defense earlier if you're a Sonic fan?
Hayes went out when Unseld checked in. So Kupchak and Unseld working up front. John Johnson drills, and the crowd is up in Seattle. 84-77. This is a vital game for the Supersonics. Henderson, poise will be important for Washington. Great pass, Unseld going to Kupchak. And a holding foul call by Ed Rush, and Webster is furious.
That's only the first team foul of the Sonics, and Marvin Webster.
That's a religious man acting like that right there, so you know he picked up his third foul. He's pretty upset about that one. They have brought Wes Unseld in the ball game to contend with the roughhouse tactics of Paul Silas.
Kevin Greavy back on the floor for the Bullets. Kupchak got Webster up in the air.
He's done that to him twice now. Marvin's going to have to keep his ground. Make Kupchak commit himself first.
Elvin watching. 10 minutes left in the game. 86-77. Cup check with Webster. Goes to the left-handed hook. Out. Greavy coming around. Dennis Johnson illegally traveled.
Dennis Johnson, with good pressure on that play, forced Kevin Greavy to get the dribble up high, and he turned it over.
That's probably the best place right here. You'll see he carries the ball, but that's the best place to really get Kevin Greavy in the backcourt because he doesn't handle the ball that well. He's still making a transition.
John Johnson, Unseld comes over on him, and traveling is the call. It'll go to the Bullets on the side.
Johnny allowed himself to be intimidated by Unseld coming over to pick him up. And, of course, Wesley really isn't a jumper. If he had just taken the ball and gone straight up to the basket, Wesley would have just kept his position.
Silas taking Unseld underneath. Here's West backing in on Paul. Roll the hook shot. Webster's rebound is off to Freddie Brown. 9:25 left. Bullets in command. Brown, 86-79, a 7-point lead. 9 minutes and 12 seconds. Mata kneeling down, front of the bench. They'll give West that shot every time. Henderson will take it.
They'll give him that one, too.
Every time. Freddie Brown spins around Henderson. Greavy there with him. Now Webster joins. It's 5-on-5. Tough check with Webster. Unseld with Silas. Dennis Johnson to the jump shot. 86-81. They're back within 5, and Mata does not ask for a timeout.
I'm quite surprised, Brent. Seattle's got something going. You might want to call a timeout and try to put a stop to it.
8:35. Dandridge. Double team miss. One shot. Sonics go to work at both ends on the glass.
The Big E will be back in.
Freddie Brown got Greavy to the air. Chance for the three-pointer.
Dick Mata's got to call a timeout here, Brent. Seattle has really turned it on. The home court really playing a factor now. The crowd's got the Seattle team really pumped up. Freddie Brown is feeling it. 3-point game. A lot of time to go.
Lenny Wilkins brings the team over, and Paul Silas has been a monster force during this timeout. He rallied them over there. He has talked, and he has rebounded magnificently.
I'm fixing up your house, Bozo, with tough paint this time. Right, Dad?
Lucite's plenty tough. It resists peeling and cracking.
How come?
For one thing, it's got mica.
Mica?
Mm-hmm. Mica's a mineral that reinforces the paint by forming overlapping plates that help make a tough seal. So it resists peeling and cracking.
He means Lucite lasts.
Now get a $1 refund from DuPont on every gallon of tough sealing Lucite.
Here's to good friends. Tonight is kind of special.
There he is. Hey, you got here early. Al, 2 more Lowenbrow. Lowenbrow. Well, isn't that what regional sales managers drink? You? You got it. I got it. You got it.
When you want the taste of a truly great beer, tonight, let it be Lowenbrow.
Congratulations, Big Shot. And I suppose you're going to forget your friends now? Probably.
Let it be Lowenbrow.
Okay, Big Green Tea. If National's going to be the best car rental company, we have got to hustle. Schultz, the last reservation call.
9 seconds, sir.
Walsh, green light service means...
Fast service, sir.
Willoughby, before we rent this new Chevy, we check all 10 items on the maintenance checklist. And then we sign it. Sir. Okay, team, let's go. 10,000 people working for you. The Big Green Tea. Willoughby. We're National Car.
Lordy, mother of mercy. Ball, please, go in the hole. And it did for Freddie Brown. And you can hear the crowd. The home court advantage in Seattle, where they have won 20 in a row. But because of an arena problem, they go to Landover, Maryland for Game 2 Thursday night, Game 3 Sunday.
Washington with a golden opportunity here. They know what happened. They did that for us in '75. If they can hold on and win this ball game, they are really in the driver's seat. And the ironic thing is it was back in on February the 8th. The last team to beat the Sonics here was the Washington Bullets by 6 points.
The Bullets are up by 2, 86-84. 8 minutes and 17 seconds to play. Hayes is back. Here's Greavy. From the left corner, he's off. The cup check gives the Bullets a second shot. So Kupchak, Hayes, and Unseld on the floor. Blocking foul as Marvin Webster goes down. It's number 4.
Oh, how those offensive boards hurt. There you see Webster looked like he had pretty good position, so the Bullets picking up that 4th foul on Webster, and that helps them. 2 team fouls for both ball clubs. Anybody's ball game at this juncture.
Well, they have taken Bobby Dandridge out, who had only scored 1 field goal in the second half, and they got that super tanker front liner in an attempt to try and get more offensive boards and control the tempo of the offensive end.
Golf tournament, final round of the Memorial coming up. But they may play a while with this one. 7:56, and it's a 2-point game. Johnson comes around the Webster screen. Unseld switches, and Kupchak goes right with Marvin. John Johnson's shot is off, but Dennis Johnson gives the Sonics a second shot. Freddie Brown, Henderson is there, and Brown will take it up outside. Reavy, lead pass now to Henderson. Inside of Brown for the layup basket. 7 minutes and 25 seconds. Henderson gambled, couldn't steal it from Brown. Now Freddie's inside. Draws Unseld off and miss. And it is Marvin Webster.
The last 3 times down the court, the Sonics have been able to get 2 and 3 shots at the hoop. You'll see Webster takes it right back up and puts the top on it.
Greavy to the left side. Johnson will try to keep him sealed here on the sideline. Greavy in the pull-up.
Loose ball foul, Brent. Again, going to the boards, this time on Mitch Kupchak, pushing off. And you see the job that Paul Silas did on Elvin Hayes. He fronted him, never allowed him to get to the ball. Watch Kupchak come in right there. Right arm, you see the left arm push John Johnson, picking up the foul on the right side of your screen.
The Pacific Northwest will explode if Seattle can tie it right here. Loose ball. Hayes to the floor. And Henderson's out of bounds. It'll go to the Sonics.
I'll tell you one thing, Brent. Psychologically, Elvin Hayes and Wes Unseld, for them, I think it's important they win this game because they had such a big lead as we see them battling on the floor here. To lose this game after having lost in championship series before, it's going to be very difficult for them psychologically.
Well, he did try and trip on that time, just trying to get his foot in there, but he couldn't. The Washington Bullets have now lost control of themselves psychologically, and they've lost control of the basketball game tempo-wise. Charlie Johnson is back in the game again, trying to get some defensive pressure out in front.
Charlie will be banging on Freddie Brown. You can rest assured of that.
He's right there watching him. Also looking out for the Webster pick. Brown says, give me a little daylight. What, 6 minutes and 24 seconds.
What they have to do is come out, and Wes Unseld is not exposing when they get ready to set a pick for Fred Brown.
Well, forget everything that's taken place, folks. We have a basketball game that's going to be decided with 6 minutes and 15 seconds to go.
Blocking foul on Dennis Johnson. Greavy dribbling up. Let me point out that here in the 4th quarter, Mitch Kupchak and Tom Henderson. Henderson has now left. They were the only Bullets with field goals. I had the feeling that Kevin Greavy might have been trying to do a little bit too much all by himself there for a time. He has come to the free throw line. 21 points through 3, but this would be his first point in the 4th quarter, and he's got an important free throw.
He has been able to get down earlier and get easy shots, and now he began to try and work in a 1-on-5 situation and hadn't been successful in that. But what the Sonics really did that hurt the Bullets was double up on Bobby Dandridge and force that ball back out on the perimeter.
Battling back is Greavy. Unseld lob to Hayes. The play that Wilkins warned them about, but of course that time it happened so quickly the defense could not be set. So it is suddenly a 3-point Washington lead with 6 minutes left. Dennis Johnson going one-on-one against Greavy, even though C.J. came over. Kupchak off now to C.J.
Washington with a chance to try and regain control of this ball game right here.
They could go back to a 5-point lead. Elvin, here's Johnson. Silas runs it down, and it's Freddie Brown. Silas with a lot of minutes in the second half. Kupchak hustled back, and then Brown retrieves down there at the right side. Freddie glides baseline, goes to the left hand with that shot. Freddie Brown.
Oh, Freddie, he's pulling out the trick, Steve.
Fred Brown is probably the toughest guy in the league to guard. Right there, you'll see he comes in, he shows him the ball. He also tells him about it on the way. You see him get that hoop in the hand come up.
Yes, sir. Freddie is pumped, and so Washington with a chance to have gone back in the lead, get up to 5. A long, tough shot by C.J. Freddie Brown responds, and we have a tie ball game because I'm betting he makes this one.
There it is. 5 minutes and 30 seconds. Deadlocked at 91. Game 1 of the NBA World Championship Series.
And this is a sign of things to come in this series, Brent.
Unseld. John Johnson trying to muscle him out. Kevin Greavy getting inside. Greavy's shot is off. Dennis Johnson runs it down. Lead to Freddie Brown.
Fred, just like you said, Greavy is trying to do too much by himself. They're not moving the ball. They're not getting it inside. They have not played the type of basketball that got him the lead.
Tough check. Tied it. Pretty shot by Mitch. 93 with 4 minutes and 50 seconds. Timeout has been called by Seattle. And the crowd applauding what has been a sensational comeback by the Sonics. Washington dominating for 3 quarters. And then the Sonics come back to tie it.
Do you sit around on weekends thinking you're relaxing? Well, think about this. Recreation can be more relaxing and refreshing than sitting around. So come on. Make the best of your recreation time with AMF. We make Voight balls, head, tennis rackets, skis, and sportswear. AMF bowling equipment.
I've been thinking about doing that for a long time.
AMF. We make weekends.
Port of call, Caribbean. The Navy. See your local recruiter or call toll-free. It's not just a job, it's an adventure.
See what's new today.
Hello, I'm the new 1978 four-door Chevy Chevette hatchback. Come on inside. I've got lots of room. For you and for cargo, I give you all these standard features. From an AM radio to reclining bucket seats. Some small cars charge you extra for them. I don't. I'm the new 78 four-door Chevy Chevette, and I'm a lot of car for the money. I think we're going to like each other.
Following the fury that is about to unfold in Seattle for 4 minutes and 48 seconds, you can enjoy the calming effect of the final round of the Memorial Golf Tournament. Simon's the leader, and Jack Nicklaus trying to stage a comeback. Tied at 93. Seattle with the ball. All the important numbers are there on the screen. The Washington Bullets were ahead in this game by 19 points. That was their largest margin. Dennis Johnson going through a minefield. And Greavy coming back out after him.
And that is going to be the penalty situation. Greavy picking up his 5th personal foul. Only 3 team fouls on the Sonics, so they have one to use in this last 4 minutes and 37 seconds, and that could be a factor.
Washington has gotten caught up in the physicality of the ball game now. They have seemed to be more intent on pushing and shoving and not getting the offensive opportunities and playing good, honest defense.
Game 1 against Philadelphia appeared to have been won by the Bullets, and then Doug Collins sent it into a dramatic overtime, and then Elvin Hayes went wild. He is capable of an explosion when he seizes control.
Oh, boy, free throws. I keep harping on that, Brent. They are so important. He just missed 2 very big ones for Seattle.
Not a good foul by John Johnson with 4:28 left now. They don't have a foul to waste, and that gives Washington a little momentum.
They put the ball in play from the side. They'll be shooting the next one. Greavy.
That's one of the few times that Greavy has used the play to get open for a shot rather than trying to do it by himself, as you pointed out.
24 for Kevin, and a 2-point Bullet lead. Here's the man of the hour in Seattle, Freddie Brown. Greedy with Dennis Johnson, who swings around him. It's spun out, but John Johnson.
AMF bowling equipment.
I've been thinking about doing that for a long time.
AMF. We make weekends.
Port of call, Caribbean. The Navy. See your local recruiter or call toll-free. It's not just a job, it's an adventure.
See what's new today.
Hello, I'm the new 1978 four-door Chevy Chevette hatchback. Come on inside. I've got lots of room. For you and for cargo, I give you all these standard features. From an AM radio to reclining bucket seats. Some small cars charge you extra for them. I don't. I'm the new 78 four-door Chevy Chevette, and I'm a lot of car for the money. I think we're going to like each other.
Following the fury that is about to unfold in Seattle for 4 minutes and 48 seconds, you can enjoy the calming effect of the final round of the Memorial Golf Tournament. Simon's the leader, and Jack Nicklaus trying to stage a comeback. Tied at 93. Seattle with the ball. All the important numbers are there on the screen. The Washington Bullets were ahead in this game by 19 points. That was their largest margin. Dennis Johnson going through a minefield. And Greavy coming back out after him.
And that is going to be the penalty situation. Greavy picking up his 5th personal foul. Only 3 team fouls on the Sonics, so they have one to use in this last 4 minutes and 37 seconds, and that could be a factor.
Washington has gotten caught up in the physicality of the ball game now. They have seemed to be more intent on pushing and shoving and not getting the offensive opportunities and playing good, honest defense.
Game 1 against Philadelphia appeared to have been won by the Bullets, and then Doug Collins sent it into a dramatic overtime, and then Elvin Hayes went wild. He is capable of an explosion when he seizes control.
Oh, boy, free throws. I keep harping on that, Brent. They are so important. He just missed 2 very big ones for Seattle.
Not a good foul by John Johnson with 4:28 left. Now they don't have a foul to waste, and that gives Washington a little momentum.
They put the ball in play from the side. They'll be shooting the next one. Greavy.
That's one of the few times that Greavy has used the play to get open for a shot rather than trying to do it by himself, as you pointed out.
24 for Kevin, and a 2-point Bullet lead. Here's the man of the hour in Seattle, Freddie Brown. Greavy with Dennis Johnson, who swings around him. It's spun out, but John Johnson was left alone at the right side. With all of that Washington muscle out there, John Johnson had the position.
Bobby Dandridge lost his man.
Here is Dandridge. John Johnson looking for a pick. Silas is fronting Hayes. Greavy outside again. Silas takes it down, and here's Freddie Brown. Greavy back on defense. Brown up over the top. Battle to the corner, won by Johnson. Lead to Dandridge. Silas coming back. Dandridge hits Greavy. And he is fouled and hurt. He's down.
He hurt his
left
ankle.
Foot and ankle area. Dick Motta coming back out.
Here's the play again. Dandridge gets the man to commit. Good pass off. Watch the left ankle. You can't see it when he hits the ground, but you can see him fall down in pain. Holds on to that left ankle. How serious it is remains to be seen. Many times I've done something like that, Brent, and it's a twist. It hurts quite a bit for about 3 minutes, and all of a sudden it goes away, and you're able to continue without hardly any pain at all.
Of course, when you're playing in a game like this and you're very loose and it's very exciting, you want to get back in the basketball game and stay in as long as you can. Greavy's an offensive player. He's got a chance to shoot some free throws. You can believe he's going to try and come back.
We'll have to point out one thing. Fred Brown had an opportunity down there where they had a break situation, and he tried to take a very difficult shot over Greavy. He had a man open on the left side of the floor, and the wise play would have been to make that pass there, give that man, Dennis Johnson, an opportunity to make the play. And so that has cost the Sonics right here.
Freddie Brown has scored a total of 26, 12 of those points here in the fourth quarter. Sonics leaning in to listen to Lenny Wilkins with the Bullets up by 2.
Let's split off if we can, all right? Let's split off. Fred, clear out. It's about here, okay? DJ, as you come off, you don't get it. Hesitate there a second. Start back and see if you can reverse that underneath, all right? Now just read it. If he's open, give it to him. If not, he's not open when you go back. Continue on out. Get forward or center, wherever it is over here. Step up. Go off. Okay, you got the two-man game.
If you open, I'm gonna get a ball to you for a little pop shot right away. If you open, we got D up, man.
We gotta get the rebounds now. After that, come on, that's what I couldn't see.
Well, we've got a moment. Let's credit our producer, Robert Stenner, our director, Tony Verna, our associate producer, Bob Dunphy, and the rest of this West Coast crew led by Brooks Graham, who did their usual outstanding job in putting together this first game package. The series resumes Thursday night in Landover, Maryland. Game 2, it'll be 9 p.m. Eastern Time or 6 o'clock live out here along the Pacific Network, and then we'll go back to work on Sunday with Game 3. Game 4 will be back here a week from Tuesday night in the Kingdome. Greavy gingerly testing that ankle. Chance to complete the three-point play. And Mata will be watching carefully how he moves down the floor. 3 minutes and 30 seconds.
Lenny Wilkins trying to get a play going to the basket. Reverse situation by the guards off of a split. It'll either be for Fred Brown or Dennis Johnson.
It was a sprained ankle in Game 1 against Philadelphia that sidelined Wes Unseld for a couple of games of that series. And Larry Wright soon will check into that backcourt for the Bullets. Dennis Johnson trying to go around Webster, comes up with a jump shot on Greavy. It's back to 1, 98-97.
They did not run the play that Lenny designed for them. That was just a
Greavy is
situation.
limping, Rick. They're going to have to get him out.
Larry Wright is prepared to come in.
Here's the injury timeout, and Greavy, who scored 27 points, will leave, and Larry Wright will work with CJ Charles Johnson in the Bullets backcourt.
That's a small backcourt alignment for them, so they're going to have to put a lot of pressure on Brown and Johnson in their backcourt to make it tough for them to get the ball in the offensive zone.
If anything happens, they probably would move Dandridge back there if they're desperate for a tall defensive man and go with that monster front court. Dandridge picking up George Gervin in the San Antonio series several times, but Johnson says, hold on, we can supply some firepower. It's a three-point Bullet lead in 2 minutes and 45 seconds to go. CJ has been here before, having played with Rick as the Warriors swept the 75 series. John Johnson waits for Freddie. Short that time, run down though by Johnson, and he'll come up with the shot. Back to 1 again in 2:28.
Coach's nightmare, offensive rebounds.
That has kept them in the ball game all day long. When they're down by a bunch, they were able to hit the board.
Webster trying to force Unseld outside, and Wes obliges. Larry Wright not moving. Dennis Johnson. CJ's got his eye, Rick, and you know what he can do when he gets it.
Well, when he gets it, he's going to make it if they're hanging on him.
Down behind Silas, you could hear the 2-minute warning in the background. It's 1 again. Downtown, Freddie Brown now with 28.
But Brown gets those because Wes Unseld does not come out and expose. He gets to dance behind that screen.
Time left, upper right-hand corner. CJ goes to his spot at the left baseline. Off everything that time. Brown lead down to Dennis Johnson. One-on-one. Knocked away by Wright. So the Sonics could not get the fast break basket, but they've got control down at their attacking end, and they could take the lead. You would never know that Lenny Wilkins was right in the center of the storm. He was like that as a player, the calmest of men, telling Freddie Brown exactly what he wants done out here to try and gain the lead.
Right, score a basket. Get me a hoop. Yes, sir.
And he wants a man at the top. Marvin came off, and there's a pushing underneath.
Larry Wright. They took the big man. As Steve pointed out, they have a tremendous size advantage there. Dennis Johnson was posting low. Larry Wright got called for being a little over-aggressive. And here's the same man that missed 2 free throws not too long ago.
Shooting for the tie. Got it. 1:21 to go.
Elvin Hayes has not been heard from in a long, long time. They haven't gone to him at all, and he was the man that got him off to such a flying start.
And it has been Paul Silas with hard work at that other end. Sonics leading 103-102. 1:19 to go now. Let's keep an eye on Elvin Rick as Silas is there fronting him. Silas with an arm in front of Elvin. Freddie Brown dropping a double team. They can't get the ball to E. Here's Larry Wright. Right at the top of the circle. Off, and John Johnson with a mighty important rebound. 56 seconds.
They score right here. The Bullets are really going to be hard-pressed. This is a very important offensive series right now for the Sonics. The most important of the year right now.
Wow. Shot clock inside of 5. Freddie takes it alone. It's off. Paul Silas with a monster offensive rebound. With 30 seconds to go, Washington must stop them again on defense. They're going to get the ball back. Washington is assured time left of 1 possession. Shot clock to 6. Now inside of 5. Again Brown one-on-one basketball. He's got it with 14 seconds and a 3-point lead. 105-102.
Here it is, Freddie Brown doing it all by himself. Nobody running to him. He's taking it one-on-one. He turns for the fadeaway. Fred Brown, the 4th quarter man, has done it for Seattle. 3-point lead.
Okay, big, green G. If National's going to be the best car rental company, we have got to hustle. Schultz, the last reservation call.
9 seconds, sir.
Walsh, relay service means
Fast service, sir.
Willoughby. Before we rent this new Chevy, we check all 10 items on the maintenance checklist. And then we sign it. Sir. Okay, team, let's go. 10,000 people working for you. The big green team. Willoughby. We're National Car.
Outward bound, Rota, Spain. The Navy. See your local recruiter or call toll-free. It's not just a job, it's an adventure.
Final round of the Memorial Tournament will be coming up next. They are on their feet in Seattle with 14 seconds left.
Just remember that Washington had a 4-point lead against the Philadelphia team with 9 seconds to go and wound up going into overtime. There's a lot of time to go here. It's very important for the Sonics to play tough defense, not to back away and give the Bullets an easy basket. They must make them use some time up on the clock.
Dandridge at midcourt will inbounds it. Charles Johnson, Larry Wright, Elvin Hayes, and Wes Unseld on the floor. Johnson fronting Hayes, and Silas is behind him. They're all over Elvin. It goes to CJ, and the countdown begins in Seattle. Dennis Johnson with him. Charles Johnson, not there, not free to Dennis Johnson. It's over. Gus Williams has come off the bench to ball handle and kill the clock. There was a foul.
There's a foul on the play. Gus Williams to go to the line. Larry Wright forced the foul. Gus, smart play, had nothing else to do. The game would have been over. Well, watch the play again as Charles Johnson takes it down the right side. Now watch Dennis Johnson smartly. He doesn't go after it. He doesn't want to pick up the foul. A long rebound. Silas knocks the ball out. What a man he has been this afternoon.
That's your man, Paul Silas. You said it earlier. If he played well, and he did rebound well, he took them right to the top in a period when they were down. He got big offensive rebounds for them.
Unofficially, Elvin Hayes' last shot came 4 minutes into the fourth quarter, which means for a period of almost 8 minutes, the Seattle Supersonics have shut down completely on Elvin Hayes. Paul Silas and a lot of help from his friends.
See what's new today. When you're driving down the road and you're moving through a curve and your car's looking good, it's showing lots of nerve. Monza by Chevrolet.
The new Monza by Chevrolet. For a car so sporty and so well equipped, it's priced surprisingly low.
Yeah, Buck. I just went to another bar and asked for light beer for Miller.
Yeah?
They said, sorry, Buck, we don't have it.
They didn't have it?
No. I don't want some beer that's going to fill me up.
No.
I want light. Tastes great.
Right.
Has a third less calories than a regular beer.
Yeah.
And, man, it's less filling. You think I'm going to the other bar again? No way. From now on, the buck stops here.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
We are back, and it was a rebound by Paul Silas after a missed shot that triggered the most important basket of the game, going back to Freddie Brown when the difference was just 1 point.
Exactly right, Brent.
That's the difference, and of course, a big difference for Washington. Elvin Hayes has not scored. Bob Dandridge has not scored. Their front line and their two big offensive players have been very quiet when Seattle put a lot of defensive pressure on.
Washington missing a golden opportunity here.
Lob for Hayes. It's over. The Seattle Supersonics have overcome a 19-point Washington lead. And on this basket, right here, the Supersonics put away their most important victory of the season, 106 to 102. But Rick, we should point out that Washington now goes home for games 2 and 3. They get the home court advantage.
Right, Brent. They missed a golden opportunity here, no question about it. But with the 2 games back there in Washington, they still can get back in control of this series and put the pressure right back on top of Seattle.
All right, for Steve Jones and Rick Barry, I'm Brent Musburger saying so long from the Seattle Center Coliseum, where the Supersonics have come back. And this is going to be a whale of a series with Game 2 scheduled Thursday night in Landover, Maryland. Don't you dare miss it. So long, everybody. The Memorial Golf Tournament is next.
The NBA on CBS is a presentation of CBS Sports. This is CBS.